Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. We usually delve into a lot of painting talk as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So, first-time viewers, be warned. And of course, if you're not able to attend live, you can always submit your questions to Kris at waveofthebrush.com. It is in the description below, as well as a link to waveofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has the links to all the social medias, as well as Discord. Discord's fantastic. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. Nice little community we've built there. And of course, we keep the conversation and everybody shares, and it's really fun. It's a lot of fun. I swear. WaveTheBrush.com also has links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a shirt? Help support the cause. Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at WaveTheBrush.com. And of course, WaveTheBrush.com also has links for Patreon support. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without you guys, a lot of these things just would not happen. And so always much love for the patrons. And of course, if you're considering Patreon support, there are varying tiers to support at. And of course, there are perks at various tiers as well. So whatever fits your needs and, helps, every little bit helps the channel. So, and of course, the goals are once I reach certain milestones, like for example, if I think the first goal is basically I will demonetize all these public videos, just because obviously, ad revenue is not really that high, so it doesn't really matter really. But, again, it's everybody. It's helping the other people who are not able to contribute monetarily, right? And of course, if you're not able to contribute monetarily, you can always help me out tremendously by thumbing up the video, liking, commenting, subscribing, following, ringing the bell, and all that stuff. That all helps the channel tremendously. So feel free, if you can, to, hit those things. And all it takes a couple click of a button, and you're helping me out tremendously. Big thank you to Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alpha, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out. We always take time to thank Carl, rest in peace, for taking the time to create the email jingles that play before the end of our email jingles that play at the beginning of the email segments of the show. So always much love to Carl, and, rest in peace, buddy. Speaking of love, big thank you to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro-outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. Taking time out of his busy day to create the intro-outro music. And, just all around being my baby brother Evan, whom I love tremendously. I've got another brother as well who I love as well. And, I love everybody in my family. I have no beefs with anybody in my family. So, that's important, I think. All right, you know what? I'm sorry, but I have to turn this fan on because I am wicked hot. So if you hear a slight droning sound in the background, I do apologize for that, but it is wicked hot in my office. And yeah, so, man, I tried to get through that without breaking a sweat, but good God, I'm already perspiring like, I don't know. I always used to use the common one, like a whore in church, but, So, who's joining us today? I can see Ebb and Flow. Sup, everybody? Sup, Ebb and Flow? I shared a picture Ebb and Flow shared with me. I thought was awesome. It was a They Live reference, and everybody knows that I'm a big fan of They Live, and yeah. That was fun. That was from Evan Flow. Anybody who was curious where I found that image, yeah, he was the one who pointed me to it. James of Kent, wow, made it in time to hear the opening. Morning, Kris. Morning, everyone. Morning. Sir Peanut Butter. Morning, Kris and Peeps. Morning. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Monkey Chaos Time resumes once again. Holy camoli. Johnny Chop Chop just subscribed. I gotta fix that little icon. I keep saying that. I gotta change that. I gotta make that the little dancing monkey. TH, hi guys. Did Kris reveal the big change yet? The big change? Yeah, the big change today, okay? We're going to do something totally different on this show that we've never done before, where basically I'm going to talk at great lengths about miniature painting. And just to shake things up a bit, I'm also going to read emails. And speaking of which, I do have quite a few emails to get through today, so we are going to get through them, hopefully ahead of the usual time in which I get to emails, but Lehman Russ, Hanson Beast. Like Hanson, like that group back in the 90s, the little kids, Hanson. Anybody remember those? No? Am I showing my age at that point? Fire Drake 18, hello. Anybody ever watch that movie, Ford Fairlane? Robert Englund's in that one, and every time he creeps up on Ford Fairlane, he hello. Such a stupid movie, but it's hilarious. Anyway, Anthony B, can't wait to see the big change. Shotgun beers. Yeah, my beers are later. We're having fajitas tonight, and so I'm gonna get some Corona, and I'm not shotgunning them because it's you can't really. I mean, can you shotgun a bottle, like a glass bottle? I don't think you can. I mean, unless you had like a glass cutter, but then it just seems wicked dangerous. So I don't know. Kane 8, hello Kane 8. I don't think I've read that name before, or have I? Old Man Logan, hey there, Kris and Monkeys, happy Saturday. James of Kent, 5 minutes, and we have the They Live reference already. I can stop watching now, I guess. They Live, man. I mean, like, if you have not seen the movie, I mean, go check it out. I highly recommend it. It was, relevant in the day it was made, and it's relevant today because, honestly, the players have changed, but the game's still the same. Dr. Santos, hello, Monkeys and Monkey Lord. Hello, Dr. Santos. I'm late, but what's poppin'? You're not late. Well, I'm 9 minutes in by the time I'm reading this, and so I can only assume you've been here for at least 5. So, and this isn't like a class where where I'm taking attendance and you're gonna get sent to the principal's office or anything like that. I mean, I could. Angel Hernandez, hello. Lehman Russ, sorry, handsome. Oh, you're sorry, handsome? Or you're sorry for being handsome? Well, don't be sorry for being handsome. I mean, unless you're like stupid handsome, like you're like, Brad Pitt, Henry Cavill type of handsome, and you go everywhere you go and people are like, oh geez, you're just too damn handsome, I don't have that problem. It's pretty people problems. Kane 8, Mbop. Yeah, Mbop. Go Starman Deluxe. Wait, you're talking about minis and emails? Bit of a departure from the norm? Yes, I know, exactly, right? That's why I said we're going to shake things up today. We're going to do things different. I mean, I think we've fallen into this really deep rut where, we weren't talking about miniature painting and we weren't doing emails and, we weren't immersing ourselves in this hobby that we all love. Yeah, we weren't doing that. And for some strange reason, this little thing just caught my eye. I don't know why, but this looks like a Lego Man head. This is a little cork I have, this Noise Marine, who apparently has cobwebs on him. It's been a while since I touched my Noise Marine. But, yeah, am I crazy? Does that not look like a Lego Man head? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why that caught my eye. Ooh, squirrel. Old Man Logan, shoot. Cut out right when you started talking about the big change. What? Andrew Miller, hello Monkeys and Kris. Hope everyone is well. Been a while since I've been able to catch a live show. Well, welcome back, Andrew. Lehman Russ, by the way, Hanson, we're awesome. Mbop. Fire Trick 18, YouTube party of They Live. Yeah, we might as well, right? We can all jump, or we can just do it on Discord. Just do it on Discord, or we could do it on YouTube. Basically, we just kind of just hit the start button all at the same time, and then we watch it together. Of course, I'll watch it, and I probably won't say anything. I'll be engrossed into the show, right? But typically with watching movies together and stuff like that, I usually am pretty quiet during movies. I don't ask a lot of questions. I usually save my commentary, try to anyway, till the end, and I usually give it a moment to kind of digest the film I just watched, and I often have a tendency to, analyze what I've taken in, right? So, but that's just me. David Vega, yo, Kris and Monkeys, yo, Sheldon Sulier, hey, Uncle, it's Corbin. Hi, Corbin. Oh, another subscriber. Who's that? King Orc? Thank you for following. That's on Twitch. Those alerts come up because of the Twitch, because I do this on both platforms. Just because some people prefer Twitch, some people prefer YouTube. I do both. I go both ways on that. Dave Patelia, hello fellow monkeys. This radical departure from the norms is radical. Talking about painting minis, reading emails, crazy talk. That used to be my handle, crazy talk. When I used to game real heavily back in the day, like 20 years ago, I used to play a lot of Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, Moha, if we're referring to the nomenclature, and yeah, I used to be crazy talk. And then my wife, she used to play as well, and she was wifey, and my son used to play as Son of Crazy Talk. I can't remember if he ever changed his name. I don't think so. He just stayed with the Son of Crazy Talk because you could always just change the name like within the game. So it's just like, yeah. Anyway. Fire Drink 18 OSL Painting Tips Party. Oh, yeah, that'd be kind of fun, right? These some damn good ideas people are throwing at me here. Dr. Santos, it looks like them old Jacko turnips. the turnips, yeah. They did before they began using pumpkins. Yeah, like they're using the turnips. I used to like those ones they used to cut, they carve out the old apples, and they do like a face, and then it dries up, and it looks like a wrinkly old face. I used to like those ones. Those were cool. Although, it always, to me, I mean, like, I grew up, you don't waste food, and so, carving up bit of food, just playing with your food essentially, right? You don't play with your food. I mean, come on. Didn't your mom ever tell you not to play with your food? So, yeah, you don't do it. You just don't do it. Mike Gee, me, my brother, and my sister have matching mbop tattoos. Good gravy. Seriously? Man, you guys were all about Hanson back in the day. Sheldon, hey Uncle, it's Corbin. I know, I read it. I know Corbin. Hi, my boy. Hi. James Kent, you may not be taking the register, but you should set watching They Live as homework. It's my second favorite John Carpenter film after Prince of Darkness. When I was younger, Prince of Darkness really freaked me out. That one really freaked me out for whatever reason. The very end of the film where it was just that grainy, message from the future kind of thing. Whew, man, that chilled me right to my bones. And I'm talking like when I was a young teenager, right? So, I was very impressionable and, yeah, well, I still am. Sheldon, I miss you so much, Uncle. Well, I miss you too, my boy. I miss you too. I hope you're being good. And I hope you listen to your mom and, being a good boy. And getting lots of extras. I know you play outside lots, and so I know. I see your mom posting pics. I know. I watch. I'm stalking, kind of. I know it sounds really creepy, considering my nephew there. He's like, what are you now, Corb? 9? 10? 10? I don't even know. Good uncle. TH. We're talking painting. Yeah, I guess we should. But can we still still ask life questions? For once, I have one. Well, TH, yeah, I mean, like, we talk all sorts of craziness, right? I just figured, maybe we'll try and stay focused today and, okay, Sheldon, thank you, or Corb, thanks. For once, I think maybe, we'll, try and stay on topic here. We're trying to stay on the rails here. Usually we end up derailed some kind of crazy rant and, well, I shouldn't say we, I mean I, but, Jabba's Left Nut. The technique for shotgunning a bottle. Put a bendy straw in the bottle and have the bendy bit on the outside neck of the bottle. Insert in your mouth and tip back. Oof. Okay, well, I'm not doing that. I mean, I enjoy beer. Because I don't, again, Kris doesn't imbibe too much alcohol these days. Because basically that'll kill me, put me in a coma and kill me. And so, I try not to have too many beers. And even if I have a beer, it's usually a couple, and then it's like, ooh, gotta stop. Andrew Miller, fajitas. Yeah, I love fajitas. Burritos. I dig a lot of just Mexican kind of cuisine. I just love it. It's so fast, it's efficient, and you eat it, David Vega, Kris goes both ways. James the Kid, same reaction to Prince of Darkness, even now as a grown-up. Yeah, exactly, right? That very end scene, man. It's just, it's just like, ooh, and it's, and a lot, like, the theme within John Carpenter films, they rarely ever have a mostly happy kind of ending to them. They rarely ever are a happy ending, and it's, it's probably why his movies are just so good, because they're not real, but I don't know. Like, some people, they can't watch a movie unless it has a happy ending. And an ending to a movie, too, is so important. I mean, I watched one, and I'm going to go off on a bit of a rant here. I watched that, what was it, Law Abiding Citizen. Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. Pretty sure it's Jamie Foxx. And you watch that movie, and it's like the character of Gerard Butler's, he's a step ahead, 2 steps, 3 steps, you know what I mean? Like, he's a mastermind. And then in the movie, I mean, if you haven't watched it, spoiler, but the ending of the movie is so stupid, and it's such a Hollywood ending, that it completely ruined the entire movie for me, even though I was thoroughly enjoying it all the way up to the end like that. And it was like, oh my God, like, it's so stupid. So stupid. So stupid. Dark Commission. Hi, Kris and Monkeys. Hi, Dark Commission. Andrew Miller. The cork totally looks like a Lego head. It does, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like a Lego man head. He's kind of doing like a frowny thing, right? Here, let me get some shadow on it. There we go. Right? He's like, Or maybe I'm cracking up. I might be cracking up. Excuse me. TH, Kris, as a person from First Nations, what are your thoughts on Washington's NFL team name and the issues surrounding it? Well, I mean, it's a derogatory term. I mean, when has Redskin ever been used in any kind of endearing fashion? It was created probably as a descriptor, but then became derogatory as time went on, right? And North America has a long, sad history of all sorts of derogatory terms towards Native Americans. So, should it change? Yeah. And the only reason why it's changing now is because cities are burning down, right? That's the only reason it's changing. Otherwise, if cities weren't burning down, that still wouldn't get changed. But now it is, because they're actually listening now, and they're actually taking things seriously, which should have been 50 years ago, right? So, yeah. But anywho, Corbin, I'm going to be 9 in 2 days, or 3. I like all your art in the background. Well, thank you, Corby. David Vega, watching movies with Kris with happy endings. Well, Christoph Dilly, I'll say Dilly, if that's wrong. Name butcher. The Thing is Carpenter's best for making me fill my pants. Even to this day, Prince of Darkness comes so close to it. Yeah. And yeah, the Thing, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I jump every time when Buddy's hands go into the chest and and then when they're sticking the hot wire into the blood. Yeah, that gets me every time. I know it's coming, but it's like, no, And I'm not a big wuss. Usually. But, you know, I'm kind of a big wuss. Christoph, it was correct. Oh, okay, Dilly? Yeah, Dilly? Like, Dilly Dilly? Dilly Dilly. Corby, you're welcome. No, thank you, Corb. Thank you. James of Kent, The Thing has possibly the best ending ever. Yes, definitely. I mean, it's John Carpenter's films. I mean, like, is there a movie of John Carpenter's that has, an ending that is 100%? Oh, thank God, it's all over. Right? Does any John Carpenter film? I don't even know. Does any of those movies end with that kind of moment? Like, that's it. That's the end of the story. It's not going to go any further. It was a beginning to end story, and that was it, right? I mean, like, I can't honestly think of any. All his stories could lead into another story, or now, mind you, I mean, that might be his thing for if it does well, he gets to make another. He can turn a franchise out of like these ideas. And John Carpenter, he's one of the few out there that he's not afraid to do an original type of idea, or something out on the edges, and bring it to the mainstream. And even though they're not like massively successful films, but he is successful, and his films are good, and yeah, I mean some of his films are a little bit less than awesome, and some are really great, and, but I mean, even a baseball player doesn't hit home runs every time. I mean, let's be realistic here. Even an award-winning artist, whatever that is, their paintings aren't always masterpieces. Sometimes it's just getting an idea out and putting it forth, and so yeah. TH, in the scene with the arms being eaten, they used extra whose arms had been amputated in real life to get that effect. Oh, I believe that. Yeah. What movie was that where they actually used somebody with no arms and no legs for the scene? It was something recent we were watching, and it's freaky as hell. And yeah, what the hell movie was I watching where they had somebody who had no arms, no legs, and he was just like, or maybe it was Walking Dead. The person had like no lower torso, and they had like the dragging bits behind them, something like that. But I mean, like, yeah, well, it pulls off the effect, and of course it's disturbing as hell, because human beings, we're conditioned to recognize head to toe a human being being a full complete thing. And so when you see it in the movies and you see the separation and stuff like that, it's like, oh my God, like, oh. It's basically all you got, right? It's like, oh my God, no, oh no, this is messing with me. I mean, shoe could be on the other foot, and you could be that person who's missing those limbs. I mean, be thankful that you have all your limbs. James of Kent, if the monster is dead at the end, you sound sleepily. You sleep soundly. Sound sleepily. Wow, you sound sleepily. John Carpenter does not enjoy you sleeping well. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, he does not enjoy you sleeping well. Yeah, that's really about the best. Is that, did you make that up, or was that like something he was quoted saying or something? Because yeah, that's very apt of describing his films, right? I mean, you watch the beginning and end. It does have a resolution at the end, but it's not all the way. It's more like 60% positive and 40% like, no, that thing's still alive, or he's coming back, or things are going to change and it's going to become worse, stuff like that, right? So, yeah. Corbin, hey uncle, can I come to your after all this stuff is over? Sure, my boy, you can come anytime you want. Dimitri Apitin, hello all, long time no see. Yes, I know, it's been a while, Dimitri. Guillermo GL, hello from Paraguay. Paraguay? Starship Troopers uses a lot of amputees. Yeah. Well, because like a lot of people, get messed up in Starship Troopers, right? Dimitri, Saving Private Ryan for the beach assault scene. Oh, yeah? Was there a lot? Yeah. I mean, especially since, in the last 20 years, with, 20 years of war, I'm sure there's a lot of vets out there who, lost limbs that, could probably find a part here and there in a movie for, when they need, those kind of grotesque scenes, people getting maimed and such. Dr. Santos, anyone happen to know where to get similar crystals like found in Under Empire basing kit for bases? Similar crystals like found in Under Empire basing kit for bases. I'm not familiar with that. Does anybody know? What are the crystals? You guys send me a link, Doctor, or post it in Discord and I'll have a quick look. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Aaron Siege, there he is. Let's be honest, the name change isn't happening because of cities burning. It's happening because of FedEx threatening to pull financial support. Really disturbing to me that it took this long. Sure. I mean, it's only after, it becomes very, very serious that anybody takes these kind of things seriously, right? And, it's the world we live in, right? It's the cost of, it's like a recall of a car. Right? Does it cost more to recall the vehicle or settle claims out of court? Right? It's the world we live in. James Kent, I made it up using my mind and my imagination. Well, bravo, sir. Bravo. That is really good. I like that. John Carpenter does not enjoy you sleeping well. Yeah. That's good. That's good, James. Bravo. It's a golf club. Here. There you go. A little ASMR for you as well. Bone Ripper. Hi, Kris and Monkeys. Hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is well as well. As well as well. As well as well. No, or is well as well. There we go. Chaos Dragon Knight. Alien always gets me to jump when the alien tried to grab Ripley in the shuttlecraft. Yeah, when it first, and it comes out, yeah, it's great. Alien, yeah, we watched that not too long ago. We watched Alien, then we watched Aliens, because I had a hankering for it. I still have a hankering for Terminator. I thought I had it for Blu-ray, but I have it on DVD, and I'm like almost 100% positive I bought it for Blu-ray, and I don't know where it went. If I bought it. But I was pretty sure. I mean, it's one of those, I don't know. What's that called? Not a Mandela effect, but I don't know, just going crazy, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, I've had a hankering to watch Terminator because I've been playing with all these Necrons. Like, I got this thing assembled yesterday. I thought there was more parts to it. I put the shields on, I put the head on, and I was like, okay, what else is left? And I was like, oh, that's it. I mean, it's a freaky deaky robot, and I like it a lot. And this one's gonna be fun. I'm gonna do all the Necrons the way I've been doing them. Like I just put up that fresh tip Thursday, how I painted the Necrons. Well, I did a Necron Warrior, and then the next ones will be on the Destroyer. But I'm gonna do them all in this fashion because I think I'm gonna make them everything from the Indominus box. I think I'm gonna make them all. Like a singular faction. I was gonna do, different color schemes of Necrons, stuff like that, but everybody's kind of doing that. It's kind of the same thing. I think we're just making a cohesive force and playing within the theme and how far you can push certain aspects and still keep a cohesive vibe even though you're changing things up. Like, for example, I am going to get to weathering that effect. And also different ways of doing like the orbs and such, because like this guy here, and this other thing. I don't know what the hell this. Oh, he fell off his base. I don't have them glued to their bases. This guy here, he's got this big orb in his core. I don't know. He comes with the destroyers. And anyway, yeah, I think of doing like different ways of doing the orbs. Like this guy should be fun. Those orbs are going to stand right out because he's got like 1, 2, 3. And then 4 in his eye, and then his central core has 1. And I have an idea what I want to do for that central core to make it look different from the eyeball ones, right? If they're eyeballs, I have no idea what they are. These are Necron things. Necron problems. These are all Necron problems. But anywho, I am going to weather them and again, play within the theme and yeah. I'm also excited to get my hands on that new shade wash. What is it? The Cryptic something or other? The new shade wash that's coming out. I'm excited to get my hands on that, and I'll probably pick up the green as well, just to have within my arsenal. Have it in my arsenal? Yeah. That doesn't sound right. I'm going to have it in my arsenal. I'm going to hide it in my arsenal. Oh, man. Corbin. All right, I need to go. Love you, Uncle. Bye. Good vibes. I don't know what that means. Oh, maybe it was a little emoji. Is that what he's posting? Hold on. Now I got to look. Oh, yeah, it is a little emoji. It's an emoji. Emoji. An emoji. Like, I know these words. I say these things, but I don't know what they mean. Oh, see you later, my boy. Andrew Miller. Big Trouble in Little China is my absolute favorite John Carpenter flick. Awesome Saturday afternoon show. Yes, Big Trouble in Little China, man. That movie, you couldn't find it anywhere. And then all of a sudden, it just all of a sudden had a massive resurgence into, at least as far as I could see. I mean, yeah, that's completely anecdotal. I mean, and maybe, people who were really dedicated to it, were following it and, know everything about it. But yeah, I love the movie. And that's one of those movies, I'm pretty sure I went to the show to go see when it came out. Because that one's like 86 or 85, something like that. And I'm pretty sure I went to the show for that one. The first movie I ever went to, without an adult, I just went with my friends. We all went one time. The first movie I ever went to was Back to the Future. That was the first movie I went to. Yeah, just a couple of friends that lived in the same complex as me, and we all just got on the bus, watched a flick. It was a boy-girl thing. It was fun. The movie. Anyway. James Kent. Kris gave me the clap. My weekend is not getting better than that. Yeah, when you say it like that, it just sounds really bad. Oh, Kris gave me the clap. Freaking guy. Fire Drake 18. Had to make some cream of wheat. What did I miss? Cream of wheat, man. I haven't had cream of wheat in a long time. I miss cream of wheat. Little cream of wheat, little sprinkle of brown sugar. Oh, and a little dollop of milk or cream. With cream, regular cream. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good eats. That kind of meal will sustain you. That's a good healthy way of starting up your day. Although, Fire Drake, I keep forgetting. Are you in the States or are you in the UK? I can't remember. Are you in Nashville? Somebody's in Nashville. I know somebody's in Nashville. Anyway. Kevin Cabal. Hello, happening hobbyists. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Johnny's Chop Shop. My son, 19, asked me, how many dates before your relationship is official? Help me, Kris. How many dates before your relationship is official? That is a tough one because, you can go out on dates and, if you are only hanging out with each other during dates, I think really when it's official is when there's something behind the kissing and the contact, right? I think that's when it is. So if that happens on the first date and there's a real connection there, then yeah, I would say it's official. Whether how long it is just the duration. The duration of the relationship, I don't think really plays in how long an official relationship is, like official, right? But I think it's really when, there's that connection there. And hopefully it's not one-sided, which is why it's always important to, dialogue and, talk about things. Some might be like, well, you don't want to talk about your feelings. Well, you should talk about your feelings, especially when you're building a relationship. You should always talk about your feelings because that's when people's feelings get hurt through misunderstandings and not communicating. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends, and you didn't know that it was some thinking it was important, or they had plans and they were just kind of hinting at it, and you know what I mean? Like, it just, there's all sorts of things. Communication is always the best solution. But as far as being official, I mean, yeah, I think once there's real feelings. I mean, you can go out on a date, couple dates, and kiss on the cheek, and have a good night, that kind of thing. I mean, people greet each other all the time by kissing on the cheeks. I mean, like, sure, there's a closeness to it, but I mean, feelings, right? We're talking about actual feelings here. So I think when it's official is when there's actual feelings involved. That's my take. It's been a very long time, though, since I've been on a date. I've been married 20 plus years. 23 years? 24 years? Hopefully my wife's not around. Get yelled at. Because our anniversary is next month. Anyway. Aaron Seach, perhaps you bought the DVD thinking it was the Blu-ray. No, I mean, that's possible. I do goofy things, but I'm usually pretty particular about when I'm upgrading from DVDs to Blu-rays, because, but mind you though, like, I'm still one of those people that still buys Blu-rays. I know, like, my son, he's like, oh, just get it on, just, download it, right? I mean, buy it and download it. And I'm like, well, no, I like having the physical copy in my hand. I like having something physical there, yeah. Sorry, I'm just checking out Discord. Dr. Xantos posted the thing. Oh, that. And so where to get more of that? Those little crystals. All right. Those little crystals. Okay. If we're going to change the subject here. If anybody remembers, Dr. Xantos is asking about the crystal. It's the old GW little kits they sold, and they had the little tubs of. Do I have one around? I don't know if I have one around. No. The little tubs with, like, they had like the slate and the pebbles, and they had like little resin bits, and you know what I mean? Like there was the little terrain kits they sold, or basing kits, I should say. Anyway, the Necron one had crystals in it, and I never picked that one up because I wasn't big into Necrons, but the little crystals are pretty darn cool, and it looks like they're actual, like, clear, like, resin or something, right? Now, you could probably find a third party and get those together. You could also 3D print, or find a friend who has a 3D printer and has clear filament and print you off crystals in clear, and you can just use a clear paint on top of them. Okay, or here's the one I would go with. Clear sprue. I was looking for some clear sprue because I had my Aeronautica stuff. It's all the way over there. But anyway, get clear sprue. Cut them, plane them nice and smooth, right? Shape them like crystalline shapes, cut them and put them on your base, and then throw a clear paint on top of them, like use like Tamiya clear green, and you'll be done. It's a little bit more work, or if you want to go through the process of, planing them off and making a cast of them, so you can cast them and make a bunch of your own, especially if you have like 50 million models to do, that's also an idea. But that's probably the easiest way I would go about it, is dig up clear sprue, like any clear sprues you have. Yeah, as far as buying more though, yeah, Fleabay is the only one I can think of where you have any kind of chance of finding, that. Where am I? David Vega. Kris, your painting tutorials are great, by the way. Keep it up, brother. Thank you. King 555, Way of the Brush 305, a fistful of crons. Raziel, good day to you, sir. Good day to you, Raziel. Ghost Starman Deluxe. That core model that goes with the destroyers is really cool, but the rules seem pretty crap. Slightly buffs the unit with a chance of instant killing one of the models. No thanks. Sure? I don't know. I haven't even read the rules on these guys. I have no idea. You're talking some stuff now, man, because I have no idea. Comrade Datlov? What is that heavy bass sound in the background? It's vibrating my ears in an odd way. That's my fan. Sorry. It's really warm in my basement. I live in southern Ontario. I live in the Niagara Peninsula of Ontario in Canada, in case you didn't know where I was. And it's very, very warm here. And we've been going through a very long heat wave kind of thing. We had a bit of a break with some rain there a couple days ago, but all it did was just add more humidity. But yeah, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, my basement is hot. My upstairs and top floor, are moderate and very comfortable. Downstairs, for whatever reason, I mean, like, it's not like I have a whole bunch of electronics down here. I mean, I have one of those big box freezers down here. I mean, my washer and dryer, but those haven't been ran today at all. And my computer, and that's it. A big box freezer and my computer, and it's pretty warm down here. I run my humidifier at night so that it dries everything up and down here, and I actually had that running for the last week or so, and it definitely has made a big difference because I can feel like my carpet and everything down here, because my basement's carpeted as well, and I can feel the carpet doesn't feel quite as gross when you pull all the moisture out. Anyway, but yeah, unfortunately, it's my fan. I would turn it off, but unfortunately, I don't know where else I can put it that I can keep going. So I mean, I can move my mic closer so that you don't have to listen as loud, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Aaron Seach, the movie is classic when a wargaming company makes a piece of terrain called Lipin's Noodle Hut, Corvus Belli, one of Infinity's starters, Operation Red Vial, I believe. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with a lot of Infinity stuff. Really, I've known about Infinity for so long. I've painted some of the models for videos, and I don't know. I have not gotten into it. I don't know. Again, I mean, I've talked about it many times. Like it's the aesthetic. It just doesn't do a lot for me, But anyway, Fire Drake, yes, Nashville. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's got to be warm in your parts too. Andrew Miller, new shade wash. Crap, I'm gonna need another paint rack. Yeah, there's a new wash coming out. It's a Necron color. It looks like it's different from Agrax and Reichland Flesh Shade because it's a gloss, and it looks like it's a different shade. It looks like it's almost like the flesh shade color from Contrast. It looks almost like the Slayer flesh color, or something along those lines. Not quite Gilliman flesh. Gilliman flesh is really quite light. But there's another one. Dark Oath flesh. Anyway, Reziel, in East Tennessee. If you're thinking of that, not sure. Reziel, you're in Tennessee. I thought you were in the West Coast. Reziel, I thought you were West Coast. Anyway. King, Lopan Noodle Hut. Lopan Noodle Hut? Oh, the Lopan Noodle Hut. Right, Lopan's Noodle Hut. Lopan. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just iconic. I mean, it's like these just... Yeah. Dimitri Abington, Way of the Brush, episode 305. How long is it? How long is not dependent on the relationship. How long it is not dependent on the relationship. Right. Saying 10 dates before it's official, that seems rather arbitrary. Right? It's, not every relationship between two people is the same. Right? There's many factors. And the shorter that duration is more akin to when people feel that real deep connection, and equate it to finding your soulmate kind of thing, right? It's that kind of thing, right? But yeah, as far as an official relationship, I mean, it's when you're feeling that deep connection, and you're sharing, both in both ways, thoughts, emotions, goals. You know what I mean? It's the beginnings of sharing your life. Really, I think that's when it's an official relationship. Because you're an official relationship in a friendship as well, right? When you and your friends are talking, and you're talking about very personal things and where you want to go and what you think and how you feel about this and that, and you know what I mean, you're talking with your friends, you have an official relationship with your friends in that regards as well, right? Versus an acquaintance or a work colleague, right? You don't really share your personal details with them, right? So you're friends, and you can be 10 years with those people and never really talk about, if you even had children, or if you anything about your personal life, right? I mean, so is there duration? I think it's when you are actually seriously talking about your feelings together and sharing your goals and who you are, and you know what I mean? You're just sharing your life. I think that's when it's an official relationship. Kevin Cabal, I'm out of touch. My 18-year-old daughter has to tell me when women are hitting on me, which admittedly doesn't happen much. Reziel, Blade Runner in 82. Blade Runner? Yeah. When did we get on Blade Runner? I don't know when we were talking about Blade Runner. Kevin Cabal, Blade Runner is still one of my favorites? Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Yeah, I enjoyed Blade Runner. I've got that for Blu-ray. I got the director's cut. Old Man Logan, you have a friend in me at Kris, Johnny Chop Shop. Let me know if I can help. No, it wasn't Johnny Chop Shop. It was Dr. Xantos, I believe. Anyway. Yeah. Or was it Johnny Chop Shop? I can't remember. It was only a few moments ago, but I don't remember. Kevin Cabal, dollar stores sometimes have little crystals for sale. Green Stuff World also makes resin crystals in various colors. There we go. Old Man Logan, or makes some with a clear rock candy crackle medium. Clear rock candy? Andrew Miller, as long as you know when your wedding anniversary is, month and day, you should be good. Right, well, I got the month. And I always get the two dates mixed up in August. I always get them mixed up. I'm not saying online, because then there's evidence and it'll be used against me in a court of law. TH, Blade Runner got poor reviews when it came out, which seems so weird now. Oh, definitely. There's tons of movies from way back in the day that were reviewed poorly that have become obviously cult classics because they hit with a certain group of people, and obviously over time their influence convinced others, and it like the cult following of films is more like akin to word of mouth, right? Because it's your friends who share it with other friends who are of like-mindedness, and they may not be familiar with that piece of work, and so then they enjoy it and join the following, and then they share it, and and it's kind of like a word of mouth, and it's slow growing, but it builds over time. I was actually talking with my son about this the other day, or actually it was like I think a week or two ago, but we had just watched Starship Troopers. Yeah, I was talking about this like a while ago when I'd rewatched Starship Troopers, and it's such a fun movie. And in recent days, it just seems like I'm seeing more and more things pop up about how clever RoboCop was, and that it was poorly reviewed back in the day. Starship Troopers, how great a movie that is, and that was poorly reviewed. And we were talking about that I was talking about that with my son, and I was telling him how Paul Verhoeven, how he was so ahead. And his commentary about the moments, just like John Carpenter, really. And it takes a while, and it's kind of that an artist is not appreciated in his own time, and it's kind of that kind of thing. And Paul Verhoeven fits that category as well. And I was jokingly saying it at the time, but I said, watch. I said, you're gonna see commentary and stuff like that about Showgirls, because that was rated like one of the worst movies of all time. And you're going to see a complete reversal on that, how groundbreaking it was, how revolutionary, how it's a commentary on this and that, and sure enough, I saw it just the other day on YouTube. I think it was an advertising for some sort of documentary or something, and it's about Showgirls and about how it was such a groundbreaking film, how it was a commentary on the state of Hollywood, and all these metaphors that are drawn from the film today. And yeah, okay. I mean, not surprising, but, Anyway, yeah. Dr. Xantos, I found replacements for the crystal. Green Stuff World has green resin crystals. There we go. David Brunfeld, we need more details for where Kris lives for mass monkey visit. On Discord, we talked about that not too long ago, especially when this whole COVID pandemic began, really, here in North America, and everything was starting to shut down. And of course, Adepticon really is kind of where we all kind of meet up, because it's central place, and it's tons of gaming, and we have fun, and we hang out, and have some laughs, have some drinks, share a meal, all that good stuff that a convention's for. Unfortunately, this year we weren't able to go, and they're even talking that next year might even be a write-off. That's what the words I'm hearing, is that even next year conventions and stuff that might be canceled, because just how rampant it's running in the States. So, who knows? I would love that conventions open back up again, but it's not looking likely. And and we talked about doing something, once restrictions were being lifted. Well, here in Canada, we're moving into the third phase of getting things back to normal. Unfortunately, in the States, they're starting to close things down again, and that's unfortunate. But so unfortunately, and the thing is that we've had reports of Americans being charged for breaking quarantine, coming across the border and breaking the quarantine. They're supposed to quarantine themselves when they come into Canada, and they haven't been. And so it's basically Canada's got to close off its border to the States, which is unfortunate. But anyway. Where was I going with any of this? Oh, right. Doing a mass monkey visit. I'd love to too. Get together, have some laughs, have, a couple drinks, and maybe play a game, or, just talk. Just talk painting, talk about anything. Right? Ebb and Flow. Kris, are you going to try beef loin flap for your fajitas? No. We got just steak. Steak again. It's really fine cut. Old Man Logan, I like the fan. It's like ASMR in the background for me, and that and the silky smooth stylings of Kris are where it's at. K8, Infinity is amazing. I don't doubt you. I know, because I know Infinity has a huge following of people who enjoy the game, love the models. I know there's big tournaments for it and everything like that. I know it's a huge game, but for so long I have been into Warhammer 40,000 and a lot of stuff that comes out of Games Workshop, getting into like a game like War Machine from Privateer Press. That was a hard sell for me for a very long time. And unfortunately, Infinity, I only know one person who plays it in his free time. That's Owen. I don't know anybody else who plays Infinity in their free time. I have no idea. Nobody else plays it in my area that I would play with. And that's really the big factor when getting into a new game, or even in an established game, is it being played in your area? Are people regularly playing it? If they're not, it's kind of a hard sell, right? And unfortunately, around in these parts, Infinity, like I said, I only know one cat who plays it in his free time, and that's Owen. So, yeah. And I don't even know when the last time he played, other than filming a game maybe with Ash, but yeah. Where the hell am I? I have no idea. I'm lost. I'm just going to skip. I'm going to jump a bunch of comments here. Johnny's Chop Shop, Way the Brush, episode 305. It's official when the good parts start to tingle. Well, I don't know about that, because that can happen on the first date. That could just happen in passing. And, typically, the notion of dates, right, being this kind of, well, it's first date, second date. Though this happens on the first date. Those notions, I feel, are antiquated, right? That is some 1950s type of bullshit. And yeah, relationships can happen anywhere, right? You meet in a grocery store, and you talk for a bit and have some laughs, and then, you know what? Let's put our groceries away. Let's go. Let's head over here and grab a coffee and talk some more. And you know what I mean? And is that a first date? It didn't really begin one. You just met, right? And yet you talk, you have a deep connection, and then it develops from there, right? And right, who knows where it goes from there? I mean, there's no manual for these kinds of things. There's no manual. It's just like life. There's no manual for life. And if there is, it's probably wrong. Dimitri Appleton. I was aiming for a low-hanging fruit, a euphemism joke that episode 305 title, Kris, maybe it's not for the bet. None got it. No. TH, email time? Yeah, we're getting close to email. Holy crap, it's 3 minutes to 1? I've already been talking for 57 minutes? Really? Good grief. Noobs Painting RJ. Hello, everyone, and finally able to catch a live one with you, Kris. Yay! 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 James Kent. Farts even. What? Oh, you're talking about, relationships. Yeah, they're official. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a very personal thing, right? Farting, right? Because, a guy, he can fart on the first date, and, I'm sure, I can only speak from a male-female perspective here, but, guy could fart at any point here, but, it's a long while before the female ever divulges that, right? But unless, of course, she does it on the first date too, and you're like, well, great, But again, that could be the immediate connection, oh, found my soulmate, you know what I mean? But the nuts and bolts of connecting with people, I have nothing to back this up with, but I feel is the same in whatever type of relationship it is, man, woman, woman, man, I would assume that human connection, we all want to connect with somebody, and we all, our motivations for a majority of our life are to connect with people. I would hope, I would think, because I know there are people who are very disconnected from things, but they seem kind of twisted and they really need to connect to somebody. They need a hug. That's what it is. They really need a hug. And people with a lot of anger and vitriol in their blood, it's no way to go through life, because everybody just wants to connect with people, right? So yeah, but as far as a manual or whatever, yeah. Job is left not. A relationship is official when one person changes their Facebook status. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's definitely when yeah. It begins, right? The official Facebook status, man. Rezia, my anniversary is tomorrow. Oh, well, congratulations, buddy. Congratulations. Ebb and Flow, Kris, I still enjoy the original theatrical cut of Blade Runner, the one where Ford, with the Ford film noir voiceover. I'd read that he hated the idea and delivered a poor performance to prevent it being used. Sure, it wouldn't be the first time Harrison Ford, was uncooperative. He just basically mumbles his way to success. Don't get me wrong, I love Han Solo and Indiana Jones. But if you've ever listened to that man talk, holy crap, it's hard to understand him. And I'm like, does he have an accent? Is he from somewhere? No, he's American. He's, and yeah, it's, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't understand what the hell he's saying. TH, so Showgirls might be a metaphor, still with bad writing and bad acting though. Is it? I don't know. Corby, I'm back, Uncle. It's Corby. I know. I can see. You told me. I can see you're back. I knew you would come back. Andrew Miller. I was hoping to meet up with everyone this year at Adepticon, but that didn't happen. It would have been my first Adepticon too. If they cancel next year, my soul will be crushed. My soul will be crushed as well. It was already in a vice grip this year that Adepticon got canceled, because I was really looking forward to seeing everybody this year at Adepticon, because obviously we all talked it up, and we all we were talking about it on Discord and everything like that, and I was looking forward to seeing everybody. And of course I like hitting Portillo's and stuff like that, and checking out Chicago. But anyway, yeah, so everybody should at least try to get to Adepticon at least once. And yeah. But anyway. Where the hell am I? James of Kent, episode 305, Nothing But Painting Talk. Nothing But Painting Talk. 2 T's. Dark Mention, episode 305, babes, our first fart. Kevin Cabal, I was just building a pile of Imperial Guard for Kill Team and thought I might paint them like mobile infantry. Yeah, do it. Do it. Raziel, Harrison Ford is kind of a magnificent asshole. Yeah, he's awesome. He's Harrison Ford. He's I mean, what actors out there, because actors, whenever they're part of something really successful, especially early in their career, they often get typecast, right? And Harrison Ford was just really, really lucky to break out of the typecast. But unless, of course, he was typecast as Harrison Ford, right? Unless that's where he's getting typecast. But I mean, because Han Solo isn't the same as Indiana Jones. There's some acting going on there, right? And you know, you go through Harrison Ford's filmography. I mean, he's Harrison Ford, but he's different aspects, and he's not always the same guy-ish, you know. It's a bit of a Heston thing, I suppose, but, you know, I mean, you don't get, or you used to get Charlton Heston, but I mean, you'd get Heston for parts because, you know, Heston, right? Donnie Lucifer, well, thank you for following, buddy. I gotta change that little icon. Where is it? Over here? No, it's this way. It's right there. There we go. I gotta make the music louder when it comes in too, just to scare the piss out of everybody. So anyway, yeah, Harrison Ford. I mean, he's great, but yeah, he does strike me as a bit of an asshole. And you see him in interviews, and he's a complete dickbag. I don't know if he's just doing that because he's a dick, or if he's just kind of not fazed by all this, you know, media, you know, go to here, you know, I mean, what they call it, press junkets, where they go and they publicize the whatever project they're part of, you know, that kind of stuff, right? Anyway. TH, Harrison Ford smoked weed from a pan on the way to the set. The mumbling probably had its reasons. Everything I see Harrison Ford in, as far as like doing interviews and stuff like that, he mumbles. You can't understand him. Corbin, hey uncle, how is your family doing? How's my family doing? Well, you're part of my family, so how are you doing? Turned it around on you. Figure that one out, Corb. Donnie Lucifer, I refuse to believe this mustache. Why? What's wrong? What's wrong with my mustache? Are you telling me to cut it off? I'll cut it off right now. Here's some scissors. There we go. I'll cut this son of a bitch right now. Go ahead. Say it. Say it. Would you all freak if I did it too? Just do the show with half a mustache. Oh, man. Reziel, have you seen the deepfakes of George Lucas and Harrison Ford talking shit in general and about being stoners? Pretty awesome. No, I have not seen that. Ebb and Flow, welcome to Harrison Ford Masterclass. Today we'll be covering angry pointing for actors. Yeah. Oh, Patriot Games. I love Patriot Games. Harrison Ford's great. I mean, Patriot Games. You know? Corbin, I'm doing good, thanks. Alrighty, let's do an email because it's time. It is time because it's 5 minutes after 1, and let's do an email. So, always much love. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down, because here it comes. Email time. Email time. This one is from our good buddy. Oh no, wait. No. Okay, we'll do this one here. This one's from our good buddy Ashiro, aka Alex. Howdy, Kris and Monkeys. I sent my first email back in episode 287, showcasing my Night Lords before COVID hit the fan, and I was sucked back into the ductwork due to higher work demands. Thank you for all your tips and feedback. They helped me a lot with getting my Death Guard backlog done, particularly applying watered down pink around eyes. My nurglies have never looked so attentive. Now that I have more manageable model backlog, the actual time off, I decided to put aside efficiency as a priority for my painting and opted to try out / practice using new techniques. So the following are various models on which I spent more time than usual and tried these new things on. The main skills I am taking a stab at are blending, glazing, weathering, and corrosion. CNC are welcome, and the following models are in chronological order, so let me know if I'm going backwards or I'm going towards the right direction and where I could take things further or what I could dial back. Kind regards, Alex, aka Shiro7. And I'm sure with a name like Shiro7, it's a reference to something, but I have no idea. Shiro? Ashiro? Anyway. So here is one of those blight droner thingies. I like the smooth coverage. I like the work on the eye. The corrosion is nice. I like the base. I like the little plants. Those little plant leaves. You know what those reminds me of? That little thing from Wrath of Khan. The original Wrath of Khan. I guess it's not original because the Into Darkness was the remake. But anyway, those little things that he drops in the buddy's ear. Anyway. Yeah, I like the subtle transitions. It looks almost like it was is it just shade washed? Do you do this by airbrush as well? It looks like, oh, you might be doing this by airbrush as well. Or is it just dry brush? It's a nice clean style. I think a little bit more control when using Nilik Oxide or whatever it is you're using to create that oxidization on the bronze or metal bits. Personally, I'm a big fan of using something like Sotek Green before using Nilik. Nilik? Yeah, Nilik. It looks like a really good prep on the model. I like the flesh tones. I like the variation in the skin. It gets a little deeper in towards, where it looks like the metal bandings are holding the flesh in place. I think a little bit more transitions in the smoke or whatever it is from the vents. Is it like smoke? I don't know if I went with yellow either. I think I'd have probably gone with like a blue-gray. Yeah. Not quite all the way pushing to a blue-gray, not like a Space Wolf color, but pushing darker out towards the ends of those smoke tendrils. Are they smoke or is it like fire? I don't know. Some sort of pestilence or whatever the hell it is, right? But yeah. I mean, it looks really good. It's clean. I mean, the beauty of Nurgle is that you could have also been very messy and haphazardly, and it still would look pretty good. Yeah, I like your work on the flesh. I like the transitions going on. I think also with the large portion... Oh, okay, wait, let's go back 2 seconds here. I think on the large portions of the armor, you could also incorporate some chipping, just to help some of that separation or bringing to the forefront of those armor plates, or push the highlight just a hair brighter, or push a deeper shadow into the recess. I really like the eyeball though. It's really good work. We got Karn the Destroyer here. Very nice. Nice and clean. Pretty straightforward. I like your highlighting on the flesh. Looks good. I like the way you did the skulls in the axe. Looks like you did it like a bone and then threw in a red. Very efficient. Oh, I like you took on the veins on his arm too. Looks like you almost went with a purple there. Interesting. Ooh, I like this guy. What is it, Lorgar or whatever the hell his name? Or Logan? Is it Logan? It's Logan, right? I don't remember. Nice work on the fur. I think along the bottom part of the fur, well, I guess it's representative of the spine. I'll part. It's a little darker like that. But I think you could have did a kind of a uniformal type of highlight, like a slight dry brush through most of the fur, and then brought that deepness of color back in by throwing glazes and going deeper towards the spine, just pushing some of those transitions. I think in cloaks and such too, not relying so heavily on shade wash as well. I've mentioned that many times with other people's works as well. Obviously, not being reliant upon shade wash to achieve your effects. Oh, I like this dude. Oop, let's go over here. Yeah, I like this. This is good. I like you, the little nurglings. Oh, that looks cool. Yeah, it's solid work. It's solid work. And if you're challenging yourself by getting into glazing and blending and weathering and corrosion and stuff like that, then yeah. And Nurgle is an excellent place to play with technique and pushing your game a little bit more, because Nurgle, like orcs, you can. Oh, I like that. That's really nice. You can push these kind of themes further, and your technique, because you can be pretty haphazard, or you can be very deliberate, and both tend to look really good on those within the context of those models. Whereas like Eldar and Space Marines, being rather kind of haphazard with them, it doesn't play quite the same. It doesn't have the same read versus orcs, where a heavy dry brush doesn't look out of place, and in fact looks part of the character. And Nurgle's kind of the same way, especially if you're doing like streaking and weathering and grime and things like that you just bring more of that character forward, right? And yeah. Where am I? Where the hell am I? Raziel, congrats to Kris for summoning the voice of Ricardo Montalban to my brain. Very silky smooth. Yeah, if I had an accent, I'd want it to be Ricardo. If I could do a voice, it would be Ricardo Montalban. And in fact, maybe I should work on my Ricardo Montalban and just start talking like Ricardo Montalban, because he's the man. So yeah. Raziel, I'd like to see more irritation where the flesh meets metal parts on the bloat drone. Yeah, sure, you can push that pretty far. Overall, the model has a very is it high key? Yeah, it's very high key. It's a low contrast. Whereas if there was more contrast in most of the model, like the smoke billowing out of the vents, right? You'd want to see more transitional color through it, going from bright to dark, right? And same with the armor plates. You'd want to see a deeper shadow within those recesses, building to a brighter highlight. And yeah, with the flesh, where the irritation is, that's where you would build deeper color towards brighter flesh tones on the bulbous parts, right? So yes, I concur in that sense, but as well, it's whatever he's building to. And of course, bigger models like that are also excellent opportunities for playing with new techniques and just playing with color, playing with technique, playing with ideas, playing with texture, all these things. Corby, hey uncle, I've been watching your videos often. Cool. Keep clicking like on all my videos. Don't hit dislike. Click like and just keep watching my videos. Just hit repeat. That's terrible advice. Probably get me some sort of com ban or something. Razia, also if Typhus is holding a head, maybe more some gore on his blade. Sure. it doesn't have to be a head inside the helmet. He could have just ripped the helmet off a guy, and he's standing over him, and he's about to drive his scythe into somebody. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a reason to go, one way or the other as far as an idea, right? And like when we talk about like Scott's painting, right? And technically he's really, really great. And I think the next phase for him is something that he has to kind of get there, right? As far as building narrative and telling the story, But the beauty part about narrative and developing that aspect of miniature painting is that it doesn't have to be when you've mastered technique that you begin to master narrative. You can master narrative right from the first day. You can begin mastering narrative, telling a story with the model, and even if your skills are not up to what you want to accomplish, you can still build to that. And of course, as you develop as a miniature painter, you can build the story, paint, technique, you know what I mean? All these things play a factor. And again, it's all about really what you want to accomplish, right? Like, when we're talking about miniature painting, it's often this notion that no, you've got to know how to blend, you got to know how to glaze, you got to know how to do all this, because you got to know how to win, golden demons and all these awards. And no, you don't, because miniature painting, like almost every aspect of art, is also deeply personal. And having a goal as far as what you want to accomplish is entirely yours. So if your goal is to just make your models look good on the tabletop, mission accomplished, right? I mean, if your goal is to win golden demons, mission accomplished, right? I mean, these are your goals, then pursue your goals. But if you don't have the goal to be the best miniature painter, not because laziness or anything like that, it's just not something you're interested in. Absolutely nothing wrong. And mastering your painting, even though you have no interest in pursuing awards or anything like that, is absolutely nothing wrong. And it's not like you're wasting your time or anything like that, because there's nothing wrong with mastering anything in our lives. Seeking mastery within all aspects of our lives, there's nothing wrong with, and it's not a waste of time if we want to master our reading, our speaking, the way we make tea, the way we cook a dinner, the way we walk, the way, what I mean? Like, mastering all these things, becoming a master within these things. And miniature painting is one of those facets as well, that, if your goal is just simply to pursue it and, do it the best you possibly can, it's not a waste of time, no matter what your end goals are, really. So, anywho. Raziel, yeah, absolutely, Kris. Depends on the story for the composition of the model. I think a lot of painters forget that they're learning. Forget that as they're learning. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I mean, like, again, there's many aspects to miniature painting, and some of them come much easier to us, and some of them, we have to really struggle and learn to, accomplish. But it's just like walking, really. As little kids, you always hear the stories of, oh, he started walking at 18 months. Well, he started walking at 20 months. He started walking. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter when they start walking. Everybody eventually learns to walk, and some of us start to run. But you definitely can't run until you start walking, right? So, Dark Emission, Dyson stickers arrived yesterday. Kris, thanks, man. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I was going to do this as a message to just the patrons. And this is basically just a message to the patrons. But everybody recently who got their dice, and also I threw in a bundle of stickers. You may have noticed that there was 4 of the same little sticker in your package, and that was for Project Mayhem. And I think you'll know which stickers I'm talking about. And yeah, I definitely would love to, if you do anything with those stickers, you definitely have to hashtag it. Project Mayhem, Wave the Brush, or Monkey Mayhem. Let's hashtag it Monkey Mayhem. And Kris probably end up in jail, but anyway, yeah. So I think you guys know which stickers I'm talking about. So, and of course, all the other patrons who didn't get the sticker package, you guys got to drop me a message, because everybody who got dice, you gotta send me a message. I know somebody else had sent me a message, and I haven't gotten the stickers out yet, but because I'm waiting for a few more, because I like to do them in little bundles, because I go to the post office and just get rid of them, right? So yeah. Anyway. New painting minis, RJ. Kris, one question. As of late, I've seen a trend that's smashing my brain in. Weathering. Using that flipping Nilik Oxide on plate. A copper and bronze oxide on steel. What's your thought? Okay or not? It's okay. I mean, especially within the context of Nurgle, because Nurgle, everything falls into rot, right? Now, yes, technically, Nilik Oxide should only reside on, coppers and what's another copper derivative? Bronze? Yeah, bronze. So, typically those are often, when they oxidize, they have that green patina, right? That blue-green patina, which is why I recommend using something like Sotek Green first and then using Nilik Oxide, because that way you build a little bit of color depth on that that patina on the things. But as far as using it on steel, I mean, short excuse is, hey, alien metal. Alien metals. Who knows what it's made of? It's alien metals. In our context of our own world, oxygen is very heavy in our atmosphere. Oxygen's very corrosive, and it eats everything, right? And on some planets there might be no oxygen, so what's going to eat at the metals? Maybe it's a different gas and it eats the metals. Who knows? If there was a lot of ammonia in the atmosphere, what would it do to metals? Would it make all the metals all look black, or would it make them turn, whatever's, right? You can make up whatever excuse you want, because alien worlds and reasons, right? It's just reasons, sci-fi reasons. It's fantasy. And that's the other thing as well, is that within these fantasy contexts, taking it very realistically and being very serious and being very narrow-minded as far as that is concerned is limiting to your imagination, right? And when you are imagining fantastic things and worlds and fantasy, like, I'm not just talking out my ass when I say your imagination, you're only limited by your imagination. And if your imagination is very narrow, your vision's very narrow. And everything you're going to create is very narrow. And you will be running through everything with little horse blinders on. And, you're just not going to enjoy yourself, realistically. I mean, whereas when you are very open-minded about how anything and everything can be, and all the permutations of possibilities, well then, the universe is the limit. Your imagination is the limit. Like, and which, by definition, meaning there is no limit, other than in the context of what we understand, right? And what we perceive. But as far as using Nilik Oxide on steel, why not? Right? Because who's saying that is purely a rust forming on that metal? Maybe it's a particular particle in the air that gathers on the metal and it looks like rust. You know what I mean? Like, there's many excuses you can use to use that Nilik Oxide on regular metals. Now, does it fit within our context of what we imagine colors? No, of course not, right? Because typically you don't see greens on metal. But if the atmosphere was made of different things than, say, oxygen, yeah, they would react with metals in certain ways. But again, fantasy metals, right? I was talking about this the other day, yesterday. Necrons. Like, why would their metal be corroded, and you know what I mean? Like they're million-year-old civilization. Sure, they've been asleep a long time. They battled the old ones, who are like basically kind of gods, right? And even Necrons in their technology, right? Even in their lore, they capture gods. They know how to capture gods, so they know their stuff, right? And also the other thing is that Necrons, at least from what I remember from the lore, they have supreme mastery of technology, in the sense of how we understand technology, that they can travel faster than light. Nobody else in 40k can travel faster than light, but Necrons can, apparently, in the stories. Battlefleet Gothic and stuff like that, it just describes them just zipping along, right? Because they can travel faster than light. Whereas everybody else needs to go into warp space and come out in some crazy ass dimension, right? So, that being said, you'd think their metals would just look superb, because, you know, who knows what kind of alloy they're using that is super non-corrosive, or it's a living metal, or it's, you know what I mean, like fantasy reasons, right? Sci-fi fantasy reasons. It's fiction, so we can make up whatever we like, but we always hold on to this notion that, like, Necrons, because they're millions of years old, that the metal's all corroded and they're, you know, and they need these things to like put them back together, when, you know, like they, you know, they're super advanced. They got super discombobulator rays that can strip the atoms from a target and travel faster than light. Their technology is the most superior technology in the galaxy, and that's including Eldar. But I often don't include Eldar in advanced. When I always talk about Eldar technology being advanced, I don't think so, because Eldar make everything from Wraithbone, this one material, this sci-fi fantasy, you know, plot material, can become anything they want, right? They play their flutes, and the material becomes whatever. And then, you know, they can make it be a metal, or they can make it be, you know, soft, or they can be hard, soft, metal, you know, this, that, whatever. And then at their power plants, they use warp technology, or warp energy. So they siphon off the warp to power their things. So their technology, because it was made by the old ones, they just started off like that. So the Eldar never had to evolve to that point. They were made to be that way, and so their technology is not advanced because there was no progression within their technology. They were made that way, right? Whereas Necrons, at least the way they describe them, they were living once and then surrendered unto the living metal, right? So there was an evolution. Whereas Eldar, they were made that way. They were top of the game, right from day one, from birth, and then of course messed it all up and lost their empire, right? Versus humans and orcs and everybody else in the galaxy who's, you know, has to change. Eldar, you know, are essentially an evolutionary dead end, because, well, there was no evolution. They were made by the old ones. So, you know, and of course their technology is not super advanced. It's just different. It's warp based. You know what I mean? It's not like, you can't compare, like, whenever they talk about, like, you know, capturing like Eldar vehicles and stuff like that, like, they should not really understand how it works, because, you know, it's a mystery, because it's warp based technology, whereas human technology is a fusion or combustion based type of technology, right? And Necron technology is harnessing, you know, subatomic particles and, you know, things like that. And Orcs is harnessing, you know, the power of the Wa to power everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you know, reasons, right? Just sci-fi reasons. You know, you can't look at it too critically and apply too realistic a lens on it, because it all breaks apart and, you know, doesn't make sense. And it shouldn't. It's sci-fi. It's fantasy. It's entertainment. It's, you know, it's not real. I know. I can't believe we got to go through this every time, but yeah, Warhammer 40,000 is not real. It's fantasy. Old man Logan, but sometimes walk before you crawl. But you can sometimes walk before you crawl. Yeah, my son, he soldier crawled. He soldier crawled and then all of a sudden walked. He didn't have that in-between phase where he was hanging on to objects and stuff like that. He just all of a sudden, one day, like a little meerkat, he just stood right up and walked. It was, whoa. Ashiro7 got some downtime to catch this live. What'd I miss? You missed a lot. Holy crap, we're already 1:30 already. I better get back to some more emails here. Kenneth, hey there, everyone. Wow, 305 episode. Hope everyone is health. Everyone is health? Well, I hope everyone is health as well. In fact, I hope everyone is healthy. Kenneth, come on, get it right, buddy. Pff, nerd. Noobs painting minis, RJ. Haha, love that answer. My autistic OCD is screaming. Alien metal. Thanks. Still waiting for oxidization on alien ice cream. Exactly, right? I mean, like, you can make up whatever reasons you want to have Nilik oxide on gray metal, right? Who says that gray metal is iron? Who says? Right? And, I mean, on an alien world, the atmosphere could be completely composed of something different. And the metals and, paint would oxidize differently. And even using the term oxidize is completely inaccurate, right? Because oxidization only occurs with oxygen. So if it was, sulfur, then it's sulfication, I guess. I don't know. What would that be? If it was like a sulfur gas in the air. Would sulfication be the right word? That doesn't sound like a sulfization? Sulfidation? Oh, my chemistry is failing me. My chemistry teacher's rolling over right now. You asshole. I used to love chemistry. Chemistry was a great class. I had a pretty good teacher too. He was no bullshit, but he was entertaining. But yeah, and he knew his shit. Raziel, I like adding damage and corrosion to recently awoken Necrons, basically simulating their repair abilities needing to kick in after stasis. Sure, I mean, like, again, you can make up whatever reasons you want. Again, fantasy. Your imagination. They're your models. You spent the money on them. You want to paint them in bright rainbow colors? Paint them in big bright rainbow colors. You want to make them just plain old metal and rusted? Make them plain old metal and rusted. Whatever it is you want to do it. Yours, do whatever the hell you want, right? Fire Jerk 18, but they don't know about aluminum. Silly Necrons. Right, so I imagine, okay, now this is some sci-fi logic for you, but I imagine that Necrons would have, because they can manipulate the subatomic particles, right, because their guns, the Gauss flares, right, strip away the atoms of their targets. So I would imagine that they have mastery of, like, obviously gravity and these things, that the metals that they make or use in their technology would have been perfectly constructed atomic structures of iron and metals and crystalline. You know what I mean? To the point, like how a diamond is a perfect arrangement of carbon. They would have done that with iron, atoms, or even platinum, or gold, or you know what I mean. They would have made the perfect structures, or even known how to make the perfect structures of those atoms to make this, like, instead of, like, you know how, like, gold is really, really soft? Well, under their mastery of, atomic structures, they can make the gold clear, or they can make it like a crystal and super, super hard. You know what I mean? Like, again, just use your imagination. Sure, it can be based within something realistic. Sure, right? It can be grounded in realism. Sure. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, that's how I imagine Necron technology, is because they have the most superior technology, and they are the living embodiment of the superior technology. And yeah, that's how I imagine their metals, is that, it's this super structure of arranged metal particles and atoms, right? They can arrange atoms, and that's how they can just basically make it. Because, I mean, like, if you have the ability to teleport or even replicate, right, matter, then you can arrange atoms, right? At least as far as we understand how these things kind of work. Yeah, if you have the technological ability to do that, then you have the ability to arrange atoms. So imagine the day, realistically, that humans discover how to teleport or create actual replicators, right? The two seem to be linked, though. But anyway, we could make diamonds in an instant, right? We could arrange atoms however we want. It'd be like a 3D printer. You just put it in the program. Okay, I want these atoms to arrange this way. I want the atoms in this kind of composition to make these kind of molecules, and arrange these molecules in this fashion to create an organism. And you know what I mean? Like, once you know how to work to manipulate the atom, and that's what it all comes down to, is manipulating that atom. Or maybe we're never meant to, and we'll destroy ourselves the day we do. Dark Commission, the Rolling Orcs. I see a back door and I want to paint it red. Ben Ellis, wow, late again. Kenneth, so sorry. Going to paint mine light from within, like Eldar War God. Maybe bright blue with silver metal dry brushed over it. Ooh, interesting. We'll send pics later. Please do, Ken. Please do. Johnny's Chop Shop, episode 305. Kris, big brain today. Big brain every day, man. What are you talking about? This thing doesn't stop. This doesn't stop. And I try to limit the amount of garbage I consume. Just like my actual body, I try to limit the amount of garbage I consume. Even though this week I did have a quarter pounder and cheese and some fries from McDonald's. But otherwise, I try to limit the amount of garbage I consume. And again, the internet, there's so much garbage on the internet, and I basically just kind of wade through and find, the actual information that I want. And that's stuff that I can apply to my daily life. Now, I'm not talking about philosophies, ideas, political positions, anything like that. That's all transitory. That's your political ideals really play very little impact in your day-to-day life. I'm talking about getting up out of bed, making yourself a meal, putting on some clothes, working your regular job, right? Those things very rarely have any kind of impact. But being more efficient at your driving, how you make a meal, how you prepare it, maybe speaking another language to communicate with your neighbors. Like, there's a million other things you could be learning rather than consuming garbage, hate, the vitriol. There's so much more you could be using. I was talking about this on Discord last night with Stinky, that I equate the internet as a tool. It is a tool. And like a gun is a tool. It can provide or it can destroy. And the internet is the same way. The internet is a tool. It can provide or it can destroy. It's up to you. It's up to you how a tool gets used. Rezia, we need the lasers from Tron so we can digitize everything and teleport that way. Yeah. Ben Ellis, I sense a deep rabbit hole coming up. I love it when this happens. Ashiro, modern science is beginning to 3D print working organs. Imagine Necron 3D printing. Exactly, right? Like this guy here, he's supposed to be a cryptech reanimator, but I honestly don't know how he reanimates a Necron. Like little things, ding, 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 like I don't know. Maybe these little thingies are the print heads, and he's printing a Necron. I don't know. Again, sci-fi reasons. Again, you don't look too deeply into these things, right? Because it's fantasy. It's fantasy. It's made up. It's made up. Johnny Chop Shop, Way of the Brush 305, searching for nuggets of wisdom on the internet. Yeah, but not wisdom in the sense that, I'm looking for a philosophy or a new way of looking at things. Well, I guess a new way of looking for things, I suppose, but not just that. Actual information. I like to think of it, okay, here, this is going to sound really funny and corny and stupid, but here's how I actually view the internet, okay? I know this is going to sound crazy, but here we go, okay? I view it like in The Matrix. When Neo is plugged in, and he downloads the information, and he looks up and he says, I know Kung Fu. We can do that right now. Not actual sticking a big long dildo in the back of your head, but I'm talking about just going onto YouTube or any other website, searching for information. How do I cook this? How do I prepare this? How do I take care of gardening? What is carpentry? How do I fix my carburetor? How do I, you know what I mean? You can type any of those things in and basically download that information into your brain and apply it into your day-to-day life. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Or you can sit on Twitter and read about how somebody's a racist. Boring. Okay, so he's racist. So what? I mean, like, I'm not shocked. In my dealings with a lot of the wargaming community, quite a few people are quite racist. It hasn't stopped me from being in this hobby. Hasn't stopped me from partaking in gaming, going to events. You know, hasn't stopped me. And I even on Twitter, some of the people who are, against said person, I've stopped listening to them. I ignore that stuff. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about that. It doesn't impact my day-to-day life. It doesn't affect me in my day-to-day life. How does that? How does one person with a cowardly soul and their very narrow beliefs, how does that affect me when I'm sitting here assembling my Necrons and painting and spending time with my family? How does that affect me? It doesn't. It has no bearing on me. So if that person wants to do that, by all means do that. Okay, whatever. We'll never have any kind of interactions. But I mean, there are many people on this planet who are racist to one group or the other. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and, interact with them. I will say, though, it does seem like some people like that do need a hug. If they want a hug, I'll give them a hug. Oh, man. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I assumed the big tripod dude was some kind of rejuvenating beam. Sure. Yeah. That fits. Sure, it's a rejuvenating beam. Yeah, it's like a spa day for a Necron. He just shines his light on them and, I feel better. I'm all polished and shiny. Ben Ellis. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. Exactly, right? Reziel at Ben. That's not knowledge. Wisdom is realizing you don't need to argue with someone over if it's a fruit or not. Maybe not arguing, though. It depends if you ordered dessert. Yeah. All right, let's do another email. Because we can, we shall. Now, next email is from our good buddy Ben Ellis, who happens to be here today. And Ben, I'm going to say this. Where you've been sending these emails, send them to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. Because you're sending this to my old address, and I don't really use this address for this particular task anymore. So, just not calling you out on it, just saying. Or maybe I am calling you out. I don't know, one of the two. Anyway, titled Just Coloring But Relaxing. Hello, Monkey Lord. Well, I've an offering for y'all. Oh, excuse me. I'm still trying to get back to painting for relaxing purpose, and I need to practice the flames, but oh well. Either way, it was fun to try some color shift paints on pipes and the Casualty blue to purple from Green Stuff. Oh, Green Stuff World, not Green Stuff. Kind regards, Ben. So let's have a look at Ben's. Looks like Gwilly Man. Oh, he's Legion of the Damned. I almost said Lost in the Damned. Legion of the Damned. Really nice work. I like the blade. The flames, yeah, you definitely could go with that. You could either go with a traditional sense of flames, like a yellow to an orange red, or, I think because you have such a strong blue going on, and you got blue flames going on the base, you could do the flames in that blue. They look like they're painted, but I think you could have spent a bit more time building up a brighter tone towards where the flames are touching the blade, and building up to a slightly darker blue towards the ends of the fingers of the flame. Yeah, see like how you did the flame on the left-hand side here? Opposite direction. Unless, of course, you wanted it more like smoke. If it was more like smoke, then that's more appropriate in that sense. I really like it, though. It's a different take on the Gwilly Man. The Gwilly Man? Gorilla Man? I think the gold trim downplays the flames. I think the trim could have been a different color. Just to really bring forth the flames and really hammer home the idea of this guy being Legion of the Damned, right? Of course, I mean, this is under the camera light, and the camera light's kind of putting one bright light going on in it. Versus if I was to view this in person. Maybe just like a darker gold, and just go with a brighter flame. I don't know. It's just an idea. I don't expect you to repaint it. I like the little... It almost looks like it's an Alpha Legion on the base or something. Do we have a close-up? No, we don't have a close-up of the base. I want a close-up of the base. Use color shift. I want you to see it. But anywho, very, very cool. I also think on his helmet, you could have did a skull. Like just freehand, like the little nose and like the teeth. You know what I mean? And painted it like there's a skull on his helmet. I think that would have been cool. Or even, oh man, okay, here we go. What if you went with taking like a skull face, like Nagash. Nagash's skull face has got to be close to that size of face and that helmet, and converted it so that the Nagash skull face was on that helmet or in the helmet, you know? That'd be cool too. Just an idea. Just a thought. Just a thought. Oh. I was checking my... I just got an email about my thing here. Yeah, I gotta renew that. It's that time of year. All sorts of renewals are coming in. Gotta renew everything. Sorry, I'm just getting the next email set up. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so comments, anything I miss? Oh, Ben, there we go. Trim maybe blue or metallic green. I think if you were going with like the whole Legion of the Damned, and if you wanted to stay within the realm of using like a metallic on the trim, I personally, if I was going Legion of the Damned, I would have made it black metal. I would have either, I don't know if you have scale 75 colors, but I would have used black metal from scale 75, or failing that and just using Citadel colors, I would have went with Lead Belcher with, was it Corvus Black now is the name of it? 1-to-1 base coat. And base coat the metal trim with that, and then just go with Lead Belcher and just do an edging of, on the trim, just to bring out the highlights a little bit. Just a little bit, leaving it fairly dark, but keeping that metallic vibe going on, so that trim feels, you know, kind of ornate and everything like that. The metal, I would have left the bare armor plates, leave those black with a bit of highlight here and there, or just a bit of edging up close towards the metal, whichever way you want to handle it. And then of course the flames, I would have left the flames. I probably would have pulled more yellow into the flames, and doing Legion of the Damned, I probably would do them going yellow at the base of the flame, building up to the red. Just like how regular flames typically get done. The way you did them, there's nothing wrong with it. But I would reverse the order and the color goes. So it goes yellow, building to a red at the fingers of the flames, right? At the tips of the flames. Yeah, not to a red though. I'd probably go as bright as say like a Wild Rider red, which is an orangey red. Yeah, when it goes to a really harsh red, it just tends to kind of look a little funny versus going to the just pushing to red, not all the way to red. And the flames are the same way. The flames on the sword and how you have them in the braziers. Yeah, I would probably stick with the blue on the flame because then that adds to that whole kind of, ethereal vibe of Legion of the Damned. And yeah. So anywho, that's just some ideas, my thoughts, yeah. Dr. Zentil, I like this iteration of Rowboat Girly Man. Yeah, definitely. I like it too. Yeah, I like it too. Ben, yeah, a shill nose, etc. would be easy. Yeah, like just doing that little nose on the break of his helmet, and then painting just the indication of the teeth, or using something like in the gash, or some skull, even from GW, that's about that same size to fit within the helmet. Or I don't know if you modeled him so that he could take his helmet off, or you know what I mean, like. But anywho, and then just replace that face with a skull. It would kind of look a bit like a chaplain, but Legion of the Damned characters with helmets and skull faces kind of look like chaplains anyway. So, Dark Commission. I was just thinking scale 75 black metal. Yeah, black metal. Ben Ellis, scale 75 is available, and I could order it online. Standard scale 75 black, or under some different name to the black. Standard scale 75 black, or no, it should be called black metal. It's a metallic. It's in their metallic paint line, and it's black metal. It's a very, very dark metal. There are other companies that produce a very dark metallic color, but I like black metal just because I have it on hand all the time. But I mean, again, like I said, failing that, taking lead belcher, adding a bit of black to it, 1-to-1, give it a mix, and apply it onto the surface will give you a good starting point. And if you want to keep that nice, lustrous metallic vibe going on the model, use a gloss non-oil. Don't use a matte one, unless of course you want to knock the shine off. Then do that. Like if you don't want it to be quite metallic-y, and it'll in light it'll still luminesce, but it won't be as like metallic feeling. And scale 75 metallics are really good pigment. Same with MIG ammo. MIG ammo has a really good metallic vibe going on. But anywho, yeah, Abaddon Black. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, lead belcher, Abaddon Black, or it's Corvus Black now, whatever it is. Or Chaos Black back in the day, or even just Carbon Black in most paint lines. But yeah, just add that 1-to-1 type ratio with lead belcher. If your paint line is predominantly Citadel, yeah, just Abaddon Black, lead belcher, 1-to-1. Use that as your base coat, and base coat the metal trim. If like that's how I would go about it. If I was doing it, a Rowboat Gilliman as as a Legion of the Damned, which I assume that's what this color scheme. I mean, that's the color scheme of Legion of the Damned. I don't actually know if your army is Legion of the Damned or not, but I assume. But you know what happens when you assume? You make an ass of you and me. Of course, I do that all the time anyway, but, Dark Commission. I sometimes use satin varnish on metals if dulled down. Yeah, satin's fine too. Yeah, I mean, like it's all personal preference. I mean, I prefer a glossy finish on top of a metallic because I like the metallic paint to stay nice and shiny like metal. But if I want it to be more matted and look more like a brushed steel, then yeah, you matte it down and it'll take on more of that quality. It'll look more like a brushed steel than it will, a polished metal, right? Short of using actual chrome paints to give you a proper shiny metal, right? Oh, excuse me. Alrighty. Next email is from Phoenix. Emerald Phoenix? This is the Elder Army. Hey Kris, my first 40k model was an orc boy and been painting and playing mainly orcs. When I started the hobby, I thought playing would be my main thing, but I enjoy the painting part as well. I don't like playing with unpainted models, and as I'm a slow painter and wanted to play another army, I commissioned my Elder Army. Here are the photos the commission painter made of the army. Next time I'll try and make some pictures of my own projects. GR Phoenix. Well, who did you go through? Oh, it's the logo's in the freaking picture. All right. So what to say? Who painted your stuff? So this is medium tabletop quality from Scar Miniature Madness. Oh, that's a fun little logo. I thought it was like a fish at first. It's an eyeball with a skull. Ooh, it's all serious and menacing. I like the warlock on the far left. I like how the rock is like protruding out through the base. I like that. That's cool. Really nice work on the cloaks. I like the coloring, that light gray. Oh, and they're not going to tighten up on the resolution. It's really nice work. Nice and clean. I like the color scheme. Is that freehanding? It looks like a bit of freehanding there. I like that they did the edging. What is that called? Not piping. Is it piping? Around the end of the cloak? Is that piping? No. Embroidery? No. What the hell's that called? With the lines through the cloak like that. Damn it, you know what I mean. Some fire dragons. Nice and clean. Medium tabletop. This is pretty good medium tabletop, really. Damn, I kind of wish... maybe I'll have to check these guys out later, because I want to see what their bottom tabletop is versus their high tabletop. Because this is pretty good for a medium tabletop. Maybe their medium tabletop is what? A base coat, shade wash, and a quick dry brush? Is that what the medium tabletop would be? Whereas their high tabletop might be base coat, shade wash, dry brush, and a quick edging with some decals. Would that be their high tabletop? I don't know. Either way. If you're interested in some commission services, maybe you'll check these guys out. I mean, obviously the painting ability is there. They work nice and clean. I have no idea how big they are, if they are multiple people or if it's just one person in their garage kind of thing. I'll assume that Emerald was pleased with the results. Although, you know what happens when you assume. Yeah, it's nice and clean. Some Banshees. I still got to get those new Banshees. And Janezar. Just looking at this just reminded me of that. I need to get those new models. It's like when you remember your grocery list. Oh, I gotta get potatoes later. Oh, I forgot bread. Yeah, I've been there. Come on, I've been married 20 some years. I've been there. I forgot things. Went to the store. Oh shit, I forgot this. Oh crap. Oh, did we get a close up of that avatar? That was the only thing we didn't see, was the avatar. Why didn't we get a look at the... Oh, there it is. I guess I should just shut up and go through the pictures, right? Yeah, it's really nice work on that avatar. I like it. Nice and clean. It's pretty good for medium tabletop, because that's a pretty decent color blend going on in the sword, the armor, and the weather veins on his helmet. Like that's a pretty good medium tabletop. And a freehanding. The freehanding, I would assume, because even on the warlocks there was stuff freehanding on them. Well, now I like these. I like that. Very straightforward color scheme. Yeah, I like this. Now we're talking. I dig it. I like the one on the left more. I like how the chevrons pass over the canopy. I like that. Ooh! Tinted the glass too. I like that. That's a good call. They still modeled the interior and then just painted the glass inside. It's very nice. I like the chevrons. Or the, I don't know, whatever the hell that is. Really straightforward color scheme. Some very efficient painting. It's clean. The place looks clean. And I'm assuming, holy carmoles. Look at this. Look at the, can you guys all see it? Yeah, you guys can all see that. Look at this. This is impressive. Did this artist do all of this? It looks pretty unified, so I'm going to assume, I'm assuming again, that they did all of this. It's really good work. I would be pleased. Yeah. I kind of wish we had some pictures of that Wraith Knight, because it looks like there's something interesting going on that helmet, on the visor of the helmet, and I'm into it. I'm into it. I'm into it. Oh, you know, Kris is into it. And when I'm into it, I'm into it. Was that the, yeah, it was the last picture. Well, very cool. Thank you, Emerald Phoenix, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Very, very cool. Very cool. Any quick comments here? Rezio, I'm not impressed by Elder. Joke. Ben Ellis, love the fact there is a banner in there. Yeah, yeah. Is Emerald here today? No? No. Johnny Shop. Way of the Brush, episode 305. It's personal preference. It is personal preference. You know what? I'm going to use that one right today. I like it. Johnny, you win. You win. I know, we've been... Holy crap, it's already after 2? Jeez Louise. I still got a bunch of emails to get through. So we're going to have to start picking up the pace here. We're going to have to tighten up our socks and, you know, whatever other euphemism you want to use, but we got to do it. Because I've been on a good roll last couple years of staying on top of emails, and so yeah. Voice of the Emperor. Hey Kris, having a clear out of models that I'm never going to get around to painting, I decided that the sheer amount of stuff was impacting on my hobby to the point where I was not enjoying it. Yes, definitely. Sorry, I seen Johnny's comment. Excuse me. Yes, definitely. Having too much projects on in front of you, or just weighing on you, like, yeah, I mean, like right now I can look at my shelf. I could show you guys my shelf, but I mean, like, I'm not. But like, I have a bunch of my Bandai kits that are still in the boxes, and there's still a couple more that I want. I've been out of touch with the Bandai Star Wars stuff, because yeah, I've got Harlequins, I've got Necrons, I got Space Marine stuff. I got my Deepkin. I still haven't even really gotten into my Deepkin yet. You know? So many projects on the go. Although, mind you though, I mean, for me, you know, I have the goal of showcasing this stuff and, you know, figuring out teachable type of moments with all of these projects. So that kind of keeps me motivated to keep going, right? Whereas yourself, if you only have a limited amount of time each week to, you know, sit down and enjoy yourself, and you feel these projects building and building, yeah, you know, you need to trim some of the fat, as it were, and you know, either get on an episode of Hoarders, or, you know, get rid of some of those projects that, you know, you just know you're not going to get into. Maybe you're not fired up about them anymore, or what have you, but there's stuff that you just, you know, you're absolutely going to love, and you want to see it to its end. You know, for example, like my Elda army. I want my Elder Army to be a huge, massive force with all sorts of crazy ass stuff in it, and I want tons of ground troops and jet bikes, and I love the idea of all those jet bikes flying across the tabletop, and just lots of floaty stuff, and big walkers, and I love all that stuff. That's what really that's my jam. That's my jam. So yeah, Johnny Chop Shop, how the hell do you tighten up your socks? Well, you tighten them up, right? You pull on that jawstring and it tightens up, leaves a nice ring around your ankle. Or if you got the garters, the sock garters. I don't know. Does anybody wear those? I don't even know. Do they even make them? Keep your socks up? I don't know. Oh man. Alrighty. Next email is from our good buddy, Brother Otis. Commission Army painting. This is topic. Hey Kris, I wanted to ask you about doing commission paint build for an orc army I'm starting. My plan is to have 1500 points of Evil Sunz Speed Freaks, and I've got about 64 models to build, prime, and paint. I haven't collected all the models I need yet, but I am close. But you're doing it for a commission, but you haven't collected everything yet? That should be on the person who's commissioned you. They should be sending you that stuff. I'm wondering what you would charge to assemble, prime, and paint 33 boys, 3 knobs, 5 ludas, 5 burner boys, and 2 spanners to a slightly better than tabletop quality. I've attached the army list I currently have to this message for you to review. I have all the boys and knobs I currently need unassembled, and the ludas and burner boys are on order. I expect to have the ludas and burner boys unassembled and still in their boxes in a week or two. I also have to order or pick up 4 trucks, which I may also have you complete for me. What? I also may have you complete for me. Wait a second. Are you trying to commission me for this? With some special instructions, magnetized melee weapons. Having never had commissioned army before, I'm not sure how this process works. I know that there will be shipping involved from States to Canada and back, which will be its own wrinkle, I'm sure. Please take a look at the army list and let me know what you think. I would like to have this army completed sometime this year, even though I have no idea when I'll be able to field them on a table thanks to COVID. I just know that it will take me forever to get through the infantry alone. It's already taken me forever just to get the war boss assembled, and as much as I enjoy the hobby aspect, I don't particularly relish putting 48 dudes together, priming, painting them, even using assembly line techniques. It still becomes more of a chore than a hobby, and that sucks the fun out of it for me. That being said, I do want to build and paint the other vehicle and bikers. Hopefully we can work together on this project and keep the paint jobs fairly consistent. They are orcs after all, so a little deviation is to be expected. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks. Best regards, Andy Miller, aka Brother Otis. There's also an HTML file, the list. I'm not going to bother clicking it here, but yeah, I didn't realize that I thought you were starting a commission thing. You're trying to get me to commission the stuff. That's a very hard sell for me. And painting up an entire army within the span of a year can be done. But I have no interest in doing it. I'm sorry. As far as you getting it done, I think, as we showcased in the previous email, maybe going through a company who does want to take on commissions. I do not want to take on commissions, especially painting up an entire army. I have no interest in that. Now, on the subject of commissions, when doing a commission in recent years, people have asked me seriously for 1 or 2 models. Okay, and I kind of was, thinking of taking those commissions on. I know, Kris just said, he doesn't do commissions. But kind of a rule of thumb kind of thing is I usually charge 3 times the retail price, and that roughly covers the commission. So if a model costs $100, then it's going to cost $300 for the commission. That gives you an idea. So yeah, so that's the price tag. So you can price out all the retail price of everything you got there. Now I'm talking the retail price, not whatever you got it for. If you got it for a deal or trades or what have you, I'm talking about the retail price of that. That is what it's going to cost. And in fact, if there's assembly and there's a ton of work to do other than just priming and painting them, because assembly does take a long time to get through. And I mean, do you guys watch the Getting Projects Done videos? Man, what, episode 25 or 26, 27, whatever, I started working on the Necron works. I worked on that one Necron for 2 hours. One Necron for 2 hours. You figure that one out. So, yeah, I don't know, Andy, if that was your roundabout way of trying to convince me to take on a commission. Yeah, it ain't happening. But I honestly, taking on a project of that size and scale, it only fills me with dread. So unfortunately, I would have to decline and find somebody. If you're willing to spend money on a commission service, I would look for a reputable service, in your area or within your country or state or whatever, that is fairly reliable and has really great reviews, and you know what I mean, like shop around just like you would any other online business. Like, look at the reviews, look at the work that they do, what they're charging, do your research, right? Your due diligence, go through it, right? But unfortunately, I'm afraid that doing an entire orc army, man, even just saying it, oh man, no. No, I'm sorry. No, I couldn't. Holy man. Johnny's Chop Shop, GW Sock Tighteners, $119.95. Dr. Xantos got to head out. See you later, buddy. Oh, great. Yeah, it's already quarter after. Okay. Andrew Miller, I'm not painting the minis. I'm looking to have you build them on commission. Yeah, Andrew Miller, yes, I'm trying to commission you. No, I'm sorry. I'm doing an entire army. The only times that I've considered taking on a commission is for a single model. Something that isn't going to absorb me for a very long time, because I just couldn't have all that crap sitting around. I right now in my studio space, which is my basement, I honestly do not have that much room. So, and yeah, doing commission, that's a lot of work. And I did commission painting 20 years ago, and I'm loath to return to it. Ben Ellis, 3 times isn't bad. I've been paying in the past 4 or 5 times all in. Yeah, no, but I mean, like, I've seen the work that you've gotten done, Ben, and that is worth the 4 or 5 times. So, no, I mean, like, it all depends on the complexity of the project and the artist's time, right? And yeah, no, paying 4 times, and that's great that you are willing to accept that, and you see the value. That's the important part. You see the actual value of that price and what you're getting, and you go, yeah, that's a price I'll pay. I'll happily pay that. That's great. And I wish there were more people like you, Ben, that took, when you commission out your stuff, that you go, well, yeah, I want it done, but I want particular stuff done. And somebody who's charging, say, $100 for a box of Space Marines, to a really beautiful stand. There's blending and there's transfers and there's weathering, and like, there's all these details, and they're only charging $100 versus another guy who's doing that same box for $50, right? And he's gonna do the same thing, and it's, they're lowballing each other. And I've talked about this many times in the past about commission painting, that all the commission painters out there all have to get on the same page. They all. So anybody who's a commission painter out there who is hearing my voice right now, you all have to get on the same page and start charging the same rate, which means that everybody has to charge more. You have to charge what your time is worth. It's just how these things work. And don't lowball each other. I've made this example many times before. It's like tattoos. Years and years ago, tattoo places, studios, even within the same city, all had different rates. But then somewhere along the way, all of a sudden, a tattoo costs a set amount. You go to all the studios, they're all charging roughly the same amount. What happened? They all got together and they all realized the value of their work, and they stopped lowballing each other because it undervalues the work. People undervalue miniature painting when people give it away, right? People undervalue it. But if everybody's charging the same ballpark, which is the appropriate amount of money per hour, and what your skill level, and you know what I mean, and what they're doing, and everybody's pretty much on board with what, you know, certain tiers are worth, that's when you'll have a much more stable ecosystem for commission painting. But as long as everybody's lowballing each other and not charging the appropriate amounts and, you know, stuff like that, yeah, it's just gonna be a hot mess. And yeah, you know, commission painting services will come and go. They'll come and go. Now, mind you, I mean, you know, some have the staying power because, you know, well, I mean, like, look at was it Den of Imagination? They're in Poland, I believe, and cost of living in Poland is not quite that high. The currency is not valued very high, and they charge a very reasonable rate, but in their land, that is worth a lot. So they are doing okay, I think, which is good for them, you know. I mean, you know, they have the dream of making this a life, and you know, you can. Andrew Miller, okay, no worries. Thought I would ask. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, buddy, but no, I can't. I cannot, in good faith, take on a commission that is just going to make me sad. I cannot. And then you'll be cursing my name a year from now. I sent Kris, you know, $3,000 to get this all done, and he hasn't even gotten one squad done. You know what I mean? And we definitely would be there a year from now, because I'm so busy right now with just making my channel grow. It's, you know, being a content producer on YouTube. It is especially, I'm posting, you know, 6 days a week essentially, so it takes up a lot of your time, and you know, you still have to live a life, you still have family. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, commission. Yeah, no thanks. Now, mind you, if I switched my business plan to being a commission painting service, which I could, which I'm not, but I could, then yeah, then I would take something like that on. But not today. Where am I? Ghost Starman Deluxe. Kris, I'll base coat your Guardians for $100 per mini. Yeah, there you go, right? Sure. Now, if that was the going rate per Guardian, $100 per mini, well then yeah, I'd pay that. I mean, I'd have to, right? If I wanted to get it done. Yeah. Johnny Shop. All commission painters, resistance is futile. You will comply. Yes, but I mean, they all you have to form a collective. You basically have to form a miniature painting union worldwide, and everybody is going to charge a very similar rate, or at least locally, or you know, whatever, right? But until you reach that point, everybody's going to be lowballing each other, and you know, commission painters who are trying to make a serious go of it won't, because these fly-by-night commission painters come and go. Right? He comes in, he might do 10 commissions in a year, and then also next year he disappears. You know? well, what happened? And then this other guy who's trying to make a real actual go of it can't because this other guy's lowballing him. And he has no intention of sticking around, or burns himself out. So, you know, that's the way she goes. Andrew Miller, based on the last few Getting Projects Done episodes, you do have a lot of stuff on your hobby table. I do. I've got a lot of stuff, man. And this Indominus box set just dropped a whack ton of models. But I'm fired up about the Necrons. I am zero fired up about Space Marines. I'm zero. Well, maybe the bikes. I'm kind of interested in the bikes. And I'm toying with the idea of doing something goofy with the bikes. The Space Marines, I might just do all sorts of different color schemes. But the Necrons, I think I'm going to make them cohesive and actually make them something playable. Because I do have way more Necron stuff. I've got a big box of Necron stuff. I've got 2 monoliths, croissants, the big walkers. Yeah, that's the big walker right there. That's the mime for the big walker. Anyway, that's the reverse of this. That's the big walker. That's the Triax Starker on its back. If you're at a tournament, a Warhammer 40,000 tournament, and your buddy plays Necrons, and you want to know if his Triax Stalker's dead, just do that. Just signal him that across the room at everybody. He'll get your meaning. You're like, dude, not here. Let's go here. All right, hurry up. I got 5 minutes. New painting minis, RJ. Kris, you are so right. The way we solved that was to network with our competitors, thus making them affiliates in the network. Voila! No more problem with stupid undercutting. Exactly, right? Everybody on this entire planet, because this hobby, because everybody's very insular, that really we all gain mostly within the internet. Our community is the internet. So the entire planet really is just this one community. We're all speaking the same language. We're all talking about the same crap. You know what I mean? And so when we're talking about price points, we're often talking about, you know, in US funds, right? We're very rarely talking about, well, this is the local currency here and this is what I charge in the local currency. And then somebody's going to go, well, he's in Japan and, you know, he's charging only this much versus this guy in Canada whose Canadian dollar is worth even less. I'm going to go with this guy. You know what I mean? Like, no. Let's charge the appropriate amounts. You know, so. But yes, yeah, exactly, right? Everybody just makes this commission painting network. And everybody starts charging the same or similar rate. Not the same rate, but similar. You know? I mean, if you're undercutting each other by $1 or $2 per hour, per model, per whatever, that's not a huge issue. Right? But I mean, somebody who does really fantastic work, yeah, they're going to charge a bit more. But everybody who's in commission painting pretty much knows that assembling a model really quickly or in a timely fashion, and base coating it, and putting a wash on it, everybody can do that to the same level. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference between somebody who assembled, primed, and base coated and shade washes the model between any of those painters, even from somebody brand new to this hobby to some Golden Demon winner. You probably can see that they're all pretty much the same. They're all going to look the same, especially if they all follow the same steps and prepare them properly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that, yeah, they all have to come together. I'm not the man to lead that charge, but I do recognize the problem. And I think the rest of the community has to recognize that. And all those commission painting services have to come together so that there is equilibrium within the community. Henry Groves. Hey, Kris, I'm watching the show and painting my fiston. How are you today? I'm doing pretty good. I'm 26 minutes into OT here, though. I got to get back to emails. Johnny's Chop Shop. Hey, deadbeat, try screwing me. All local painters refuse to touch the stuff until he paid me. Sure. Or you can show up at his house. I mean, see, again, that's why people, for a long time, people dreaded owing me anything. because I usually collect on debts, one way or the other. And yeah, I mean, I take that kind of stuff very seriously. When we're talking actual money between people, yeah, I treat it very seriously, and that's why it's. And I'm a firm believer in money between friends and family and stuff like that. Yeah, that I'm one of those guys that can be, I'm a stickler for that kind of thing. And yeah, no. Andrew Miller, I would never curse your name, my friend. Well, thank you, but I mean, another 365 days from now, in the hypothetical, of a commission and not getting it done and paying the money, and you know what I mean, like, no. Again, money between people, money between friends. You know what I mean? That's a recipe for disaster. News painting mini RJ Kris. The customer also is served by network thinking. You ever wonder why one firm can put a man on Monday on repairing your fridge and all others can't? Networking. Firm giving work to firms. Yes, definitely. Yeah, right. Exactly, because there could be somebody in the UK who wants a particular thing done, but he doesn't want to charge the appropriate amount, but wants whatever, and he say, well, no, but he's happens to be in Poland. Well, then yeah, commission out to somebody in Poland, right? Yeah, Again, everybody's got to come together. It's a community effort, But unfortunately, what it is that, for whatever reason, miniature painters, because a lot of people have big fat heads, and I'm not sure why, but I think because people have blown so much smoke up their ass that they start to believe their own PR, and a lot of commission painters, or even just miniature painters who have any degree of skill, tend to develop big heads. And think they might be better than another, or they're doing it this way and that way, I wouldn't deal with them. And and somebody says, well, what your commission service, you're charging this and they're charging that, the same thing for the same work, why should I go to you? And it's, well, I'll do this and that, what I mean? And that's another form of undercutting, but I mean, within reason, of course, because you do want to drum up business. But yeah, oftentimes with miniature painters, it seems like there's a lot of ego at play. You see it a lot in the art community, people's egos. Anyway, Ghost Starman, when you owe Kris, you better pay out the ass, or with the ass. Yeah, I take it very seriously. Ben Ellis, pay up front in full. There are no second chances, and respect is worth more than money. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. I concur. All right, another email. This one is from our good buddy Dark Commission. He completed another bust. Hello, Mighty One. Here is the second of 3 Nuts Planet busts. Nuts Planet's busts. Man, that's a mouthful. In the Lamenge 10 series? Lamenge? I don't know. She is Gamer. Fucking these names, man. What the hell? She is Gamigan. And is a 1/10 scale. This one took a little longer than the last bus and came in at around 10 hours work. The photos don't do her justice, though. She is most impressive at normal eye viewing distance and lighting, etc. All CNCs welcome as per usual. Cheers, John, aka Dark Commission. P.S. I use the Scale 75 colors, Resurrection Flesh and Harvester Flesh for the skin from their Fantasy and Games set, and Fuchsia for the blush from Scale Color. I don't think I'll be going back to Cadian Flesh Tone now. These colors are lush. And so right off the hop, holy carmoles, fantastic work. I love all the tone, the variation in shadow, especially in the chest, up by the collar, in the face. I like the forehead, how it blends into the eye like that to the rest of the face. I like the tone in the nose. I think some finer highlights in the hair. Just bringing those highlights up a little bit brighter. You know how like in hair, especially when it has a bit of a sheen, because typically hair does have a bit of a sheen, that you have a bit higher, tighter highlight in there. I like the intensity in the eyes. With how much brightness there is in the face, the eyes, I'm wondering if the eyes could have been a different color. Especially because you have so much magenta going on, so warm values on the flesh and the magenta and the reddish tones. I'm wondering if the eyes could have been more like how the gold looks, almost a green yellow, greeny or deep green. Shit, even a black. Imagine those eyes being a solid black. That'd have been freaky as hell. Don't get me wrong, I like the bright glowy eyes, but yeah. No, I really liked your work on it. The neck up towards the jawline feels kind of neglected. And I'm wondering if that's just because of the way the light is illuminating from the way you're taking the photo. But yeah. Your transition on her breasts, like, is really good. Like I can see the color gradients. Like a lot of time is spent there. And then I look at the face, and there's a lot of time spent there. I think a little bit more highlight just on her cheek, just below her eye. And I think a little bit more separation of the glowiness of her eye from her eyelids. But yeah, that space just below her jawline, it feels like there's not a lot going on there. Really, really fun bust though. That's really cool. Yeah, I see you mostly have it going on the hair here. And if you just tighten up the highlight just a little bit with a fine detail brush and just picked out just the upper points, concentrating most on where it looks like it heads off to a braid, and then just built down just a bit. You did it a bit on the hair that kind of comes down between the shoulder blades, and you kind of have that going on. And I think if you just built a stronger highlight through that section, like, or well, it's not a braid, it's feathers. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's really, really cool. I think you maybe, I think you're going to push the contrast on the flesh a little bit more underneath the jaw, in the eyelid, in the nostrils, maybe a bit in the ear, and close to the hairline. Kind of like on the breast, because the breast seems like there is a really great transition of color going on there, and it builds down to a deep tone where it gets close to the armor. And I don't see that in the face. That same level of color gradients going on. I mean, you can make the obvious joke there that, obviously a lot of time was spent on the breasts, but yeah. You know what I need? I need a way of drawing what I'm talking about on the screen. I need to figure that out. But anywho, thank you, John, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Looks really great. The bust is really good. I like the color. I think the eyes, the eyes feel like it falls a bit flat because the eyes are that same value as the skin, and the eyes, I think, to really draw the to draw the viewer in, the eyes need to be darker, I think. To either be a darker red, magenta, or whatever, like similar to the hair color, or a different value altogether. Greens, blues. I was thinking greens just because it would tie into the armor, and also like a blue green would play really nicely with the red magenta tones, right? And the warmth of the flesh tones. Anywho. New painting. Green to red is a stupid hard to get the smooth transition and natural looking. Ace work. Yeah, no, that's really fantastic. On the armor, yeah, it's really fantastic. David Hogue. Kris, heyo from New York. I'm new to 40K painting and your channel. Love your vids. Been looking for the video where you painted that awesome Necron sword, but I can't find it. Direct me, Sensei. Okay, well, that video where I painted that, you mean the new guy from Indominus? Patrons have access to that right now. They've had access to it for like 2 weeks almost, and that's in my Patreon. But that will get posted Tuesday. That'll get posted Tuesday, I believe. So if you want to wait a couple more days, and if you can't wait, then on the Patreon tiers, there is early access at, I think, Base Coated Monkey. Base Coated Monkey is early access and higher. But yeah, it hasn't been posted yet. Go Starman Deluxe. Kris, just a marker pen and draw on the camera lens. Smart ass. Luke D. Padova. Hey Kris, I've come into a blockade with my painting skills. What would be some suggestions, in your opinion, to improve? To reach another plateau of painting ability? Well, I think if you sent me a picture of what your current best efforts are, then we could talk. So feel free to do that. Just Kris@waveofthebrush.com. Send me an email. Send the pictures as attachments. But without knowing where you are feeling that you are struggling or looking to improve, typically playing and going outside your comfort zone is really one of the beginning ways of improving. And also, and I can't say this enough, that do not be afraid to fail. You're not going to get it right the first time you try. You're going to fail at it, but that's okay. But as long as you pay attention to what you're doing and you're consistent about the way you do things, you will work out how you failed and where you can improve. And this works in many aspects of life, but that is really like just kind of a broad answer without knowing any specifics about where or what you're looking to improve. Again, if you have a set way of how you are assembling models and you're priming them, and you way your base coating, and then of course the way you highlight, if you only glaze or you only do edgings, then maybe try wet blending, maybe try feathering, wet on wet, whatever the technique might be. Or maybe you just do a lot of dry brushing. Dry brushing is a very effective technique. It often gets equated as being a noob technique, but it is actually a very effective technique, and it's a very nuanced technique, which is, I often use the word nuance because there is a lot of subtlety to a lot of these techniques. Glazing, like realistically, glazing is held way up here, and I'm not sure why, because all glazing is layering, and everybody knows how to layer paint. You put one coat of paint down, and then you put another coat of paint down, and then you add a little bit more white to that, and you add another, you know what I mean? And that's essentially glazing. It's just you are thinning the paint down, but that's a very nuanced thing, to thin the paint way down and allow these very subtle transitions to build. Again, it's greater experience, and and the only way you're going to gain experience in a lot of aspects of miniature painting is by playing and experimenting and failing. You're going to fail. And don't be afraid to fail. And this goes for everybody. Do not be afraid to fail. But as long as you learn from your mistakes, you'll be able to move forward and become more confident in your abilities, because you'll know, well, yeah, I'm pretty confident in my ability to dry brush, but maybe if I did this more consistently, or if I removed a bit more paint consistently, or when I'm layering paints, if I'm adding a bit of thinner instead of water, you know what I mean? Like there's many aspects to it. And so, yeah, without knowing any specifics about where you're looking to up your game, as it were, so feel free to send me an email and send a picture of your best effort and an idea of where it is you would like to improve, or what you think is what you would like to improve, right? I think that would be a good jumping off point. Dark Commission, thanks for the CNC, Kris. All noted. I guessed about the hair. I've got blonde perfect, but other colors not so. Well, when you have your technique down for it, swapping out color doesn't really matter, right? It's the color, like, you know, I mean, I guess it kind of does, I suppose, in some aspects, because what do you shade it with? But I mean, you know, you just give it some forethought. I mean, like, what kind of red are you looking for? Are you looking for a very warm red? Are you looking for cold red? Are you looking for, you know, shading reds in desaturated tones or really saturated tones? Are you looking to highlight up going through just pure white, or maybe you want to go through grays or browns? I mean, like, you know, there's many ways, but otherwise, when highlighting, you know, you're painting the representation of light playing on that surface. That's what highlighting is, right? It's a highlight. It's the light on the surface. And how light interacts on a surface obviously comes through observation, right? So if you want to get into the vibe of how that hair looks on a female and how the light from directly above would play, and especially if it was, say, if it was soft or if it was shiny, you know, if it was, you know, slick or wet, or, you know, like, there's many variables, of course, within that aspect of it as well. I think obviously doing a bit more observation how that light looks, and you just like you would on a canvas, you just paint it. So if it's almost an abrupt white highlight, sometimes that's all it is. It's an abrupt white highlight, right? But very precise and very small, very thin. You know, again, nuanced and, you know, obviously precision, right? David Haig, enough said. New Patreon inbound. Well, thank you. Patrons, the biggest aspect of Patreon support is I do send you some free dice with a little package as well, and early access to a lot of painting vids, until, of course, I work out more deals, and, of course, you know, deals as well for sales and stuff like that, right? But yeah, Dark Commission at Kris, you can zoom right in on those photos. They are 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. Yeah, thank you. I did kind of zoom in a bit, I think, didn't I? Cujo Painting does on-screen over painting on mini pics. Maybe worth finding out what he uses. Yeah, I know it exists. I just haven't done it. I mean, I know I need to change that icon. I just haven't done it. It's just me being a knob. I mean, you know. Another email. This one is from our good buddy TH. It's Blood Bowl Troll and his friends. A while back, I sent you the beginning stages of my Chaos Pack team for Blood Bowl. Now it's finally done. They're loosely based on the Atlanta Falcons, but not any real version. The more teams I paint, this is the 9th, the more I have to get creative to avoid overlaps. Yeah, pretty much. In hindsight, I probably should have left out the white entirely, but live and learn. I still like them. With this team, I was all about telling the story of a bunch of misfits united by the powers of chaos. With a lot of my teams, I paint variations in the uniforms to signify positions. Example, blitzers with red parts, catchers with white. But with this team, I approached it the other way around. Chaos Pact is a unique team as it features 3 big boys and 4 players from other teams, but the core of the team is really the linemen. I kit bashed some Carrick acolytes with various Blood Bowl and Necromunda bits. How many can you spot? That is the question. How many can you spot? To give variation through design, but leaving the colors of the uniforms the same. I also wanted to add variation through skin tones. I gave them different human tones because people from all over the old world fall under the lure of chaos, and there are tones somewhat less human. Because while chaos is cool, Slaanesh is kinda hot. It does do weird shit to your body. Does it? I don't know. Sci-fi reasons. Some of the acolytes had flat arms to mount big shields. I got around this by crudely cutting the shields and painting them rusty and dirty and make them look like improvised arm guards and weapons, probably made from scrap metal they just happened to find in the dugout. There's a picture showing it. I thought it was a nice way to cover up my laziness with a bit of micro storytelling. Let me know what you think, what I should work on, and once more, thanks for all the great content. Best. I cannot say your name. Troll? I don't want to say troll because it's not troll, right? Anyway, TH in the comments. P.S. I usually mispronounce my name as troll. Oh, shit. I usually mispronounce my name as trolls when speaking English. It confuses Americans less. My ex calls me trolls for 2 years. You can tell. You can as well. Trolls? Yeah, trolls. But how? Okay, because I'm sure that's what, like Danish or something, or like I'm sure it's probably something like Theol. I don't know. Anyway, before I put my foot in my mouth, here is his Atlanta Falcons inspired Chaos All-Star team. Is Chaos All-Star? Was that what it is? Yeah, Chaos. I like the dude on the far right, the little ghoul-looking dude. He's kind of got that old-style German helmet. Yeah, this is a big mixture of dudes. I like the guy in the center. I like that you varied up the skin tone, and also you've mixed up the races as well. So I mean, like, this is like a really mixed bag of miscreants. Oh, okay, yeah, I get you. The shields on the arms, yeah, it's just like a piece of steel they just kind of picked up and just, yeah, they're just slamming them into people. I like Buddy on the left with the kind of blue-gray skin. I like that guy. He's kind of cool. Buddy on the right has got like some sort of buzzsaw. Is he Goliath head on that guy? Is that what it is? It's a Goliath head. It's Necromunda. Goliath. I figured it out. I am so smart. I am so smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T. I like the Skaven Duder. A little splash of like purple magenta in the tail like that. I like that. Dark Elf looks cool. It's a cool color scheme. Red, black, and white. It's a very striking color scheme. I mean, we were looking at the Uthwi models, the Eldar Force, earlier. It's the same color scheme. Right? Predominantly black with red accents and white. Or bone. Yeah, I like the center dude with the skull mask. He looks like something from, what the hell's that video game? Borderlands? That's what he looks like. He's from Borderlands. Yeah, it's a really cool team. I like it. I have this guy. I have not even started painting him yet. That blue is strong. Purple Minotaur. I dig it. I like it. I like the color. Purple moo cow. He's a purple moo cow. Moo. Moo. Yeah, very good, man. Thank you, troll. I don't want to say it like that. I don't. I just don't. I don't want to say troll. Because it just seems so mean. Oh, he's troll. Oh, TH, he's here. Yeah, it's a Danish name. It means arrow of Thor because his hammer got stolen and he used an arrow to get it back. But my English-speaking friends just say trolls. Right, but I was going to say, how do you say it? But I mean, he's going to shout at his screen. But I mean, like, I'm not going to hear him. Or am I? Wait. No, I didn't hear him. Ghost Starman. Kris is smirked. Not smart. I'm smirked? What's smirked? What's the difference between smart and smirk? I guess I'm not smart because I don't know what that I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Ben Ellis. Kris is getting picked on again as we're asking him to say stuff. Yeah, I know. You guys get a real good laugh out of that. Me trying to fumble my way through speaking bad English. Alrighty, this next email is from the Heretic Scott. Hello again, Monkey Lord. I've been busy trying to finish what's left of my Necron, and I'm starting a Chaos Army soon. Just thought I'd share what I've been working on. I revisited my Immortals recently and worked on shading and weathering as well as improving the weapon glow in the Tesla carbines. Did some Scarabs too, which came out nicely. Also included a work in progress of Enriquir the Traveler. I don't know what the hell his name is. Come on, these stupid Necron names. Stupid made-up words. Everybody argues how to pronounce them. They're made-up words. The Traveler, which needed a fair bit of conversion, as his fail cast really was quite a fail. Much love for the show, tutorials, and all your helpful feedback. Cheers, Lewis, a.k.a. the Heretic Scott. It's just always fun to say. Lewis. That's such a good movie. Oh, little Scarabs. I like the little glowiness. Ooh, I really like the glowiness on like the guy who kind of like pretty much central. Like I can see a lot of variation in the tone. Or at least it looks like you put it on a yellow and then put like a orange contrast. But, you know, if you put it on in the right way, it creates that gradient for you. I don't know if you actually went through the time of blending it. For little Scarab duders, I don't think so. But, I mean, I could be wrong. Now, with your army and how you're doing them kind of like they are kind of like misfit-y and, you know, all sorts of different parts, could you have brought that to the Scarabs? Especially on their Beetleback carapace kind of parts? Oh, excuse me. Just saying. Could that have been a thing? What's this? Some green stuff. I can't zoom in on this. Oh, Fritz. I can't zoom in on it. Oh, Lewis. Anyway, it looks cool. Like a little streamer on the back of the banner. Very cool. Pose looks cool. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so Lewis has got this, you know, kind of like the Necrons are from different parts. It reminds me of like, remember that CG movie, Robots? It's kind of like that. It's obviously kind of got this bit of a IG-88 kind of Star Wars-y type of Boba Fett type of vibe. Boba Fett's always like the first thing I jump to when I'm looking at this kind of, you know, different colored parts on the guy. Because it's like, you know, he's representing like, you know, he's replacing armor and stuff. So it's always the kind of the first place I go. I really like the weathering along the feet and everything like that. I like that. Like the guy in the center, I really like that up on his shoulders. I like the chipped armor on the shoulder armor. On all the guys, it looks really good. Overall, the colors work really great. I like the consistent orangey glow through everything. Obviously representing, you know, the power source. I like that the weapons are all pretty uniform as well. There's no real kind of sense of weathering on them, which is interesting. I think they'd be too noisy if you went with like, you know, different colored guns or different part colors on the same kind of weapons. You know what I mean? Like I think visually it would just be confusing versus the way you're doing it right now, where the gun is really dark and it's got this edging. I mean, you could add chipped parts and maybe make like things like that, kind of like what you're doing on the shoulder pads. You could do that on the guns here and there. I would do it very sparingly. I wouldn't do a whole bunch of it. Well, I mean, you could, but I don't know. I really wouldn't. But I really like what you're doing on the armor. The armor is really where it's at for me. And your transition of color is really nice on the cabling. I dig it. Oh, is that it? That's it. Sorry, I was absorbed into the paint jobs here. I like the way the metal looks. That looks like it's like a wash. Is it like an orange wash thinned out a bit? Is that what that is? Could be, might be, maybe, possibly, probably not. But thank you, Lewis, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. And yeah, very, 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 very nice. Quick check of the comments here. What's everybody saying? Nothing too nice. Necrons, yeah. Job is left. The Necron with the red head looks very angry. Dark Commission, good glowing effect. Yeah. Fire Drake 18, Dread. I don't know. Ghost of Starman looks, damn, put my headphones on and the sound of your fan makes it feel like it's stuck in your paint shaker in my ear. Really? Is it that loud? Because I don't really, like, unless maybe if I had some sort, I couldn't, like, unless I had a break. Does that make a difference of the sound? Okay? I'm going to be quiet for a second. Just for me, because maybe there's a way I can do this. I can have my cake and eat it too, kind of thing. If this isn't, or maybe this is better here. Does this lessen the noise? Okay. Let me know. Let me know down below if that drastically changes or if it's just very minimal. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to figure out some way to keep it cool down here, and I can turn my fan off, but I'm not turning my fan off. I'm sorry. I'm not. Because I'll just be profusely sweating, and I'll look like some sort of, deranged maniac is what I'll look like. Noobs painting minis. TH, American English, not the Queen's, but I guess it's because we invaded them enough to teach them how to pronounce R. I always tease my Canadian friends, R, not just R, but just R. R? R. Ben Ellis, I didn't notice the fan in the first place, to be honest. No, well, you're on YouTube, and apparently I guess on YouTube it's not quite noticeable, but I guess on Twitch the audio is different. I don't know. Ghost Star Man Deluxe, not a change. It's not too bad once you get used to it. That's what she said. All right, last email. Yeah, we had to throw in some sort of inappropriate joke. This is Sylvanet. This is our buddy Daniel. Emerald Phoenix. Oh, I thought the other one was Emerald Phoenix. It was just Phoenix? Damn. Sorry. I misspoke earlier. Anywho, hi Kris. For the next 3 weeks, assuming I remember, I'll send you my completed Sylvaneth. I went from never knowing anything about this army or any interest in the models at the start of lockdown to having 1,000 points completed within 2 months, which is, for me, nigh unheard of. I can honestly say that these models have been absolute pleasure to paint. It's been a while since I've worked on a single army consistently for a long period of time. Normally, I swap between factions weekly, and I just want to keep painting more of them. I'm incredibly happy with the level they have turned out and don't wish to go into more details on the models. I think less is more is very fitting for these. Thanks, Daniel, Emerald Phoenix. P.S. The photo quality isn't great, and the next lot I send you won't be. Okay, but I bought a small photo light box yesterday, so hopefully future photos will be a higher quality. Cool. Alright, so let's have a look at the Sylvaneth that he's very happy with. And yes, definitely very happy with these. I really like the base. I like the texture on that. That's that like lichen texturing, isn't it? That's like an actual organic material using for that base. I like the color. I like the ethereal blue going on. Yeah, it's, I mean, you're just sitting there and moving through. And I mean, like, anytime you can complete projects and take a project to a level that you're happy with is always a win. And, don't get caught up in trying to make every damn project a golden demon winner. Sometimes we just want to get these things done, have have them on the tabletop, or just have them on our shelves and look nice and pretty. And as long as you create a solid foundation of a paint job, you can always come back and, do more. Or if you are, you don't feel that you're quite skilled enough to pull off a certain effect, well, as long as you work nice and neat and clean, you can always come back and do that once you've learned a particular technique that you thought, was outside your skill set at the time. And here, I'm seeing very effective painting. It looks like a lot of contrast work. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I know people shit on contrast painting all the time, and I'm not sure why that kind of elitist attitude still persists, but no, whatever gets the projects done. And this looks good to me. And yeah, on that banner, it looks really great. And you even have little transitions going on in the branches and stuff, good work. Yeah, I see that green building up through the feet and then builds to the brown up to the thighs, and then it's these little ethereal ghosts coming out of them. I dig it, man. I dig it. It's little elf spirits stuck in the trees. I get it. And that's what I get from this paint job. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, really nice work. Yeah, buddy on the left, I like that, how you have that green going up through the yellow and into the brown. I like that. That's a nice touch. On the branches, I don't know if you needed to go to that green on the branches, especially where there's little leaves. I don't think you needed to do that. I think you could have went to a really dark brown towards the ends of the leaves, towards the leaves on the branches, and then the little leaves, you could have come in with some opaque color and painted those green. Just really quick, just to slap a little green on them. You don't have to highlight it or anything like that. Or if you're really careful. But I think, no, I like the little purple elements in there. That's really cool. It's really amazing how effective contrast paint is, eh? I like the one on the left, or the right, sorry. The looks like a little female with the bow. I assume it's female. You can't tell with elves which one's female, which one's... It's like going to Thailand. I'm sure everybody who's from Thailand is just hey, piss off, man. I think, how you continue that green vibe running up the legs. I think if you would have had a little bit of your green, whatever that basing material you used, if you'd incorporated a bit of that on these bases, even though they are sculpted and they already have tons of detail on them, don't be afraid to use your basic materials on these kinds of bases as well, just to keep a consistent theme throughout your army. Oh, is that? I really like this model. Where does this model from? Is this is this a war crime model, or is this part of the actual fact? I'm gonna look later. You don't have to answer that. I don't even know if you're here today. But yeah, thank you for sending that in. Awesome stuff. And yeah, as long as you work and get the project done, and you can leave it on your shelf, you can play with them, whatever it is. But as long as you do a pretty consistent and stay, neat, you can always come back and finish an effect or expand upon an idea or, whatever. It's not the end. It's not the end. You can always come back. Man, I don't know. There's a bunch of comments here. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh, wub-a-dub wub-wub. Hey, Kris. Hi. Ben Ellis, I've never tried the contrast, but they look great. Oh, the contrast paints, yeah, are a lot of fun. They're really fantastic if you're brand new to the hobby. They allow you to create depth on a model that you otherwise would have struggled initially to achieve. And experienced painters, they're going to use them in ways that, would be fairly familiar with other paint lines as well, but now they're within Citadel, and so to maintain color value consistency across an army, you know what I mean? Like if they're working on Space Marines, and you know what I mean, like they can maintain some consistency through their forces, you know, or just doing, you know, crazy effects as well. Ghost of Star Mandalux. Dang, I may have to move to Thailand then. Wait, what? Wub-a-dub, wub. What? New paint and minis. Paint is medium and pigment dye. Characteristics vary, but so does what want to paint. I use all sorts and slap oil paint on acrylic, whether with pastels and back to acrylics on the same mini. Yeah, oh, exactly. I mean, like, it's just mixed medium, right? I mean, mixed medium works on regular canvas painting, and it works within miniatures as well. Recently, I've been showing, you know, using enamel paints on top of urethane paints for primers, and using oil paints on top of those acrylic paints. I even used oils on top of Turbo Dork or water-based acrylics. I mean, like, you know, yeah. Do whatever you want, man. Just experiment. Some things won't work, but, you know, you might hit upon a combination that's just killer, and, you know, yeah. David Haig, done, another recessed monkey added to the brush jungle. Well, cool. Thank you, David, for joining, and hopefully, you know, your continued patronage, you'll see great value in it, and, you know, thank you very much, and of course that goes to all the patrons as well. New painting. If one can cut a corner, make the road easier, then why not? Definitely, yeah. And I mean, the contrast paints are within that vein, especially when you are less experienced. The contrast paints will help you in that regards, you know, to creating depth on a miniature, because you know, obviously creating contrast and depth on a model is something that somebody very new to miniature painting often struggles with, and contrast provides an adequate solution to it. Is it the best solution? Debatable, but it is a solution, and you know, it works, and it's within the color palette that is consistent with Games Workshop, and so many people are buying Space Marines. Why not buy the paints that work well with Space Marines, right? If you want it to look like the work on the books and the box art, and you know what I mean, if you want it to have that look, right, why not? Wub-a-dub, wub. Color consistency is really hard now that they've stopped Caliban green spray. Yeah, it seems like they have stopped all the colored sprays, because the website doesn't show any, at least on the Canadian site, because I'm in Canada, and yeah, like they've stopped all the colored sprays, and I wonder why they do that. I mean, are they going to re-release them? Now, mind you, locally, the local brick and mortar store here, he has a pretty good selection of spray paints, and I'm sure, you know, the current supply will probably run out at some point. So if you need those paints, you might have to pay an extra little bit and pick those spray paints, because yeah, you can't buy them from GW's. And if you want to, you know, if you figure, yeah, I'm still got, like, you know, thousands of points left to paint, you know, and I'm going to have consistent look across them, yeah, you might have to go pick up some spray paints, and you might have to go to Amazon or Fleabay, or, you know, buy up the entire stock locally, you know, so, yeah. Wub-a-dub, wub. +1 to contrast being great glaze for that purpose. Oh, definitely, yeah. Using it for glazing and just color and value shifting, yeah, it's fantastic. Now, mind you, I've mentioned it many times before that I wish contrast paints finished glossy. That's my only thing. That's the only thing downside for me as far as contrast paints are concerned. I wish they finished glossy. And I've talked many times about why I want them to finish glossy. Greg Gurman, holy carmolies, look at the time. I know we're an hour and 10 minutes overtime here. We're gonna pull the plug, because I am done emails. All the emails have been read, and so huge thank you everybody sending emails. Wub-a-dub, wub. Blood Angels red contrast for the eyes. I'm gonna try applying it with a pin. Yeah, I used to use a thumbtack. Doing eyeballs way back in the day, before I really started kind of taking care of my paintbrushes and, you know, getting a nice fine point. Yeah, or maintaining a nice fine point on a brush. Yeah, I used to use a thumbtack believe it or not. Also, a safety pin. A safety pin? I don't know what they call them in, I don't know, wherever you are, Wubba-dub, but yeah. Anyway. Old Man Logan. Army Painter has some sprays that match GW stuff pretty closely. They do. They do match. Most of them. And Caliban Green, I think they do sell a color that is pretty close to Caliban Green. So that's another option as well. That is definitely another option as well. Wubba-dub, wub-wub. Yeah, the Angel's Green is close, but not perfect proxy. I'm just basing in black and painting green. Right, yeah, and you can always just build up. You know. Yeah, I know. It's kind of a pain in the ass, especially like a big company like GW where, you know, you want to have consistency through releases and, you know, cross. And then, of course, they change the names of colors, or they might change the suppliers or the way they make the color. And there's a slight tonal value between, like, our value change in the color. And that's kind of annoying. But, I mean, it's just inevitable, right? I mean, as the business changes and things change, and, you know, yeah. Old Man Logan, I have used it. Yeah, I've used a lot of Army Painter sprays before. I was a big fan of, what was it, Red Dragon? Because that was almost a perfect match for Mephiston Red. And I love Mephiston Red. Mephiston Red is probably like my favorite value of color in Citadel's range. Just that deep red. I love that deep red. And, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was called Red Dragon, I think. Dragon Red? Army Painter. Anyway, and it's almost a perfect match for Mephiston Red. Pretty sure. Or maybe it's the other red. But it's a darker red. I'm pretty sure they have two reds, and it's the darker red. And that one's a pretty good match for Mephiston Red. Anyway. Wubba-dub. Corn Red. Corn Red? Corn Red? Or Corn Red is your favorite, or are you talking about Corn Red? No, Corn Red and Mephiston Red are not the same. Or... No. Is it still called Corn Red? Yeah, Corn Red and Mephiston Red, yeah, they're not the same value. Corn Red actually is a bit more desaturated. Mephiston Red is a very saturated, deep red. Dark Commission. I wonder if more recent flesh tones have been improved by my switch to Xandri Dust Primer Spray. Sure, yeah. Corn Red is darker? No, Corn Red's not darker. It's just desaturated. There we go. Well, okay, yeah, I mean, like, sure, it is, like, tonally, it is a little bit different, but Corn Red is not as saturated red. It's not as rich as Mephiston Red. But, I mean, like, if I was to look, well, here, you know what? I'm going to do it right now, because we talk this shit all the time, and I talk about, you know, basically changing color filter, and here, let me go. Where's black and white? Where's a pure monochromatic? There we go. Monochromatic. Yeah, like here. Now this is looking through a screen, but okay, yeah. This is my phone. Okay, you can see my mess in my office. Shit all over the place. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, Corn Red is the one on top. It is slightly darker, but they're almost the same tonal values. I don't know if you guys can see that okay, but yeah. So anyway. Wubba-dub, I think they replaced Corn Red Rattle Can with Mephiston Red. Did they? I don't know. I haven't played with a lot of the spray paints in a long time, since I've been concentrating more on airbrushing, so yeah. Spartan 2 Paintball, finally get to see a live show. Didn't think I would. Had to get a Jeep with my sis. You have to get a Jeep with your sis? Is that a euphemism? Dark Commission. Corn is pink based where Mephiston is orange yellow based. Well, yeah, it's just more saturated towards the red spectrum, right? I mean, if we're looking at the primary colors as far as traditional painting is concerned, red as the primary, it is like, or if we were looking at, I guess, more like, you know, on a computer, and you're looking at the grayscale, and like Mephiston red stays within the pure saturation of red, whereas corn red feels more pulls towards the desaturation of red. But it might get a little bit darker, right? But anywho. Fist and Stone Wargaming, I Miss Averland Sunset Spray. Good, quick yellow base coat. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like the website you can't buy, at least, I mean, on the Canadian side, you can't buy spray paints anymore. I don't know if in the UK site you can, but on the GW Canadian side, yeah, you can't buy spray. I'm sorry, I'm fiddling on the site right now. What time are we at here? Holy crap, I gotta end this show. Color by, no, not by color, by type. Sprays. Yeah, I see only 5 sprays on the GW site. I see Minitum Varnish, Grey Sear, Wraithbone, Corax White, Chaos Black. That's all I see for sprays. Let's see. Let's go to England. Let's go to the UK. The UK and sprays. Sprays are 12. Oh, look at this. You can still get Retributor Armor. You still get the Varnish, Chaos Black, Grey Sear, Wraithbone, but you can still get Xandri Dust, Mephiston Red, Macragge Blue, Mechanicus Standard Grey, Death Guard Green, Lead Belcher. What the F? WTF, GW. WTF. Oh, man. Alrighty. Kevin Cabal, for the cost of a few of the GW spray cans, you can get a basic airbrush setup. Sure. I mean, when airbrushing, and especially how much painting you're doing, you may want to invest in, it's an investment, But I mean, getting spray cans, I mean, there's pluses and minuses to any aspect of whatever we use for tools, right? And I mean, getting a basic airbrush, yeah, I mean, it could be more of a headache. And also, getting into airbrushing is getting into a whole new ball of wax, right? And there's all sorts of technique and subtleties amongst airbrushing that you have to overcome, especially if you're brand new to it. It's not just as simple as buy an airbrush and now you're airbrushing. No, it's just like a whole new ball of technical skills that you have to develop as an airbrusher, versus using, you've been using rattle can for ages, and you know what I mean, and then they discontinue the color, and it's like, oh, now what I do, right? Because it's not as simple as just, okay, well, I'm going to buy an airbrush. I bought a compressor, bought an airbrush, and I bought these paints, and now here I go. Oh, I'm getting splurts. Oh, the paint is really runny. Oh, why isn't it working with this primer? Oh, why isn't, there's many things. It's not just as simple as get an airbrush. And, I mean, there's a lot of things that come along with airbrushing. Wubba-dub. Airbrush would be great, but rattle can just does the job so quickly. Sure, right? And I mean, like, you gotta also look. I mean, when your resources are limited, is it worthwhile to invest in airbrushing versus sticking with rattle cans and even paying a bit more for colors and rattle can versus getting into airbrushing and all of that, right? The pluses and minuses. Black Keep Gaming, US has 12, including Retributor Armor. Hold on, the US has 12 colors as well? Are you freaking kidding me? You mean the Canadians are getting, because most of the shit we get is shipped from the States anyway, right? Yeah, they've got freaking 12. What the? Chaos Black, Retributor Armor, Death Guard Green, Minotaur Varnish, Macragge Blue, Grey Sear, Xandri Dust, Lead Belcher, Mephiston Red, temporarily out of stock, Mechanicus Standard Grey, temporarily out of stock, Wraithbone, temporarily out of stock, and Corax White, temporarily out of stock. So I'm wondering if the rattle cans come in from China or from the UK. I wonder if they come into the States, if they're not even made in the States. 'Cause I know back in the day, like, stuff was made in the States, but I don't know if stuff's still made in the States. I don't know if GW still operates that way, or if everything's just right out of China or the UK. I have no idea. I'm not privy to those meetings. I'm not privy to any meetings in GW to begin with. I'm just saying. As an outsider looking in. Anyway. Greg, rant incoming. Shut up. Shut up. Wubbadub. GW Canada tax. Yeah, it could be that. Most likely is that. Spartan to paintball. Is there a semi running in the background? Yeah. My semi. I do the show with a semi. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you have questions, if you're not able to attend this live and you're watching this after the fact, send your questions and, whatever you're working on to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send them off as links to other sites because it's annoying and I won't read it on the show. So, yeah. Of course, in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling 24/7 there. Although some days it's kind of quiet and some days nobody shuts up. And of course, conversations spill into other channels and, it's monkeys. I mean, what are you going to do? Anywho. It has the Discord. It's really fantastic. And of course, also on wayofthebrush.com is links for t-shirts. You want to get yourself a t-shirt, help the cause, and look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself to me in your shirt, tastefully, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine because it's nice to put a name to the face and a face to the name. Also at wayofthebrush.com is a link for Patreon. I'm independent these days, and of course, you want to help the channel grow and expand, and help me just continue to do what I do. Patreon is how I'm accomplishing this. Of course, there are varying tiers of support on Patreon, so pick whatever suits your budget, and a huge thank you. There are some perks with various tiers, and so of course, maybe some might entice you into others, so who knows? But either way, and of course, if you are brand new, be sure to fill out your shipping information if you're at a tier in which I'm going to ship stuff out to you. So be sure to fill that out so that I can send those things out to you as well. And I see Pharaoh something or other joined us on Discord, so huge thank you. And of course, Patreon support, huge thank you. And if you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, you can also help me out tremendously by liking, commenting, subscribing, following, and sharing the video, and ringing the bell also as well on YouTube. That's a big one, so you get notified of stuff. But yeah, all that helps as well, and all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out tremendously. And all it takes is a bit of effort. A click, liking the video. I mean, did we earn at least one click today? I kind of hope we did. I don't know if we did, but hopefully we did. And if you're watching this on, obviously on Twitch, following and, all that helps as well. And Twitch subscribing? Yeah, all that. Jeez Louise. New painting minis, yeah. There we go, see? Followed on Twitch. And I've got to change that icon. Yeah, the icon? Yeah, the icon right there. He's right there. I'm going to tickle him. Oh, he went away. Stranger danger. He's touching my bum. Speaking of bum touching, no. Speaking of love, and he's in a better place now. Big thank you to Carl for creating the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. He's no longer with us, so always much love to wherever he is, to Carl, aka Guymere, aka Beer and Blood Bowls, his YouTube channel. Check him out. And of course, love baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the beginning and end of this show. Always much love to my baby bro for just being such a talented mofo that he is. And of course, if you're interested in rare and interesting comics, he does sell rare comics. ebcomics.com. I do believe it's .com. It might be .ca. I don't know. I think it's .com though. I can't recall. But either way, much love to my big brother Evan. Was that it? Noob painting minis. Kris, hey, zombie butt got fingered. The love. Spartan. Kris, you're being weird. No, it's Kris, you're being creepy again. I say that at the beginning of the show. AKA, Kris, you're being creepy again. Well, that's me being creepy. Touching the zombie bum. Where's the zombie bum? Right? Anyway. Actually, it would be on this side right here. It's close to this thing, right? Anyway, all right. We are, holy shit, we are almost an hour and a half OT. Usually this is supposed to be only a 2-hour show. This is a 3.5 hour show today. But we answered some questions. I got through all the emails. I had a lot of emails to get through. And so I want to thank you guys for sending your emails. Keep them rolling in. And again, a lot of fun. I think that's it. I'm going to sit here and try and cool off a bit. Get some painting done. Go hug a loved one. Be sure to wash your hands. Don't touch your face. And if you got to go out, wear a covering. Because again, covering's not about protecting you. It's about protecting the people next to you. Thank you guys. I'll check you guys later. Be good. And long live and prosper. And, I don't know. What's another thing I could say? Purge the heretics. Purge the heretics. There we go. I don't know.